There we go. That's better.
Haha! How's your day been, man? Ah, even though we've been talking for like 20 minutes, that's the name of the video, so it got started like that.
I mean, I can't think. I can't think of any other freaking name. I'm gonna be honest.
No, no, truly, I actually think that's probably one of the better names you could have come up with. When I saw it for the first time, I'm like, wow, that's actually that's the first thing you ever ask me every single time we play together.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
And it works for it. All right.
Yeah, it does. Because you can literally put it with anyone.
Let me change this up and make sure that blah blah blah.
No worries. Ah!
I'm just hearing noises behind me. Like,
Dude, this game, like, cause like I just like, I don't know. I like what. Do you want? Okay. Do you ever watch fail videos?
not actually not at all. To be honest.
Okay. I have a guilty pleasure of just like scrolling on Snapchat and just looking at the shitty stories that like people post whenever I'm like just at night and going to bed. I don't know why. It's just one of those mediums. Like I don't go on Instagram, I don't go on Facebook, but like Snapchat stories of just random shit that I'm subscribed to. I'm just like, all right, I'll watch that. One of the ones I'm subscribed to is Fail. It's Fail Army, and 9 times out of 10, there's always that one video of someone doing something fucking stupid with a bike or a skateboard or a scooter, and they always get crotch shot every time. And this game just reminds me of how much I cringe at every single one of those videos, because I just imagine how much it would hurt to just slam your crotch against a fence.
The thing about fail videos, the only reason I don't watch them because they remind me of Jackass and MTV, and I hate both of those things.
Why do you hate Jackass?
Because at a certain point, I get mentally annoyed watching it.
Very fair. I would never ever dream of doing anything they've done in that series.
Exactly.
But at a certain point, I'm just like, you know what? I just commend Steve-O's ability to, you know, shove electricity up his rod.
Exactly my point. And I'm like,
all right.
In some point in reality, there's a moment where humanity's wiped out, and that's the last thing that we have.
No. It's going to be Jedi text, which is going to be a completely fictional thing, but that's all that aliens will ever take from us.
Alright, to be honest, the best scenario is always the Mad Max. What does everyone interpret what is going to be after a certain point when everyone forgets? You see what I'm saying?
What are you specifically talking about? Because there's a lot of places that we could go.
Alright, let's say that we're deep in the apocalypse at this point. Like, Mad
Max. We are, it's 2020.
Yeah, we're almost at the end of this season. And...
honestly, this has been very comparable to Game of Thrones.
Let's say that you wind up in a building and you see what is apparently two buff guys with yellow hair fighting each other. Now, the common man would think, yeah, that's probably Dragon Ball Z. A cult would think...
No. That's Naruto versus Ichigo.
No, that's Goku versus Vegeta. No, not even close. That's obviously Bobobo.
God.
And then the blood feud begins with the the fighters versus the shinobi. And here we pray to our shrine. And then it's just a giant picture of Anderson.
No, it's just did you ever watch the Team 4-Star? It was Scott and Taka going. It was the marathon of Hellsing.
Yeah, no, I watch all of that, and I'm like, yeah, I enjoy it.
I forgot how bad some of those jokes aged.
They age bad, but they're still so good.
I actually, well, one, you're not wrong, but two, I forgot. Like, I didn't forget, but like, watching them cringe at episode 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I
feel bad for Taka.
Bad for Taka, but I still enjoy that they were able to get the convoluted, like, absurdity of the plot of the Major in their like. They were able to get the Nazi plot line of that entire show down to a teeth of what it actually just is. A 50-50 bet.
Nazis. Yeah, honestly, that's all it was.
That's all.
All they wanted to do was take out Alucard. That was their only goal.
And I love, like, that's one thing I love about that show is like, yeah, no, there was still a 50-50 bet this was going to work or not. And either way, it was fun. I'm like,
I think it all goes back to episode, is it 6 when the war starts? When they actually bomb London?
It's either 6 or 7.
Also, do you want to go to a different place?
Yeah, because they do cut a lot of different parts from certain episodes, so it's hard for me to remember exactly.
Yeah, I know they cut a lot of parts, but I'm pretty sure it's about 6 or 7 when everyone starts bombing. But with the speech that the Major gives with them just absolutely loving war, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what they do.
And
that's their whole point.
Like, that's just the enjoyment of a villain. It's not like I enjoy killing. It's like, no, I had a plan, and either it was gonna work or it wasn't. But either way, I had a great time.
And it's a lot of people died.
It's the definition of fuck you.
I feel like that's also like
that's Joker levels of like.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's either it's Joker or it's like, what was that one? Some way someone put it. Oh, I've never been to this area since I was a fucking kid. I love this place.
Oh crap!
Sorry. It's kind of like how Darth Sidious is evil, but he fucking loves it, so you have to respect it, you know?
Yeah. But like, it's one of those things where like, a villain
also,
to be a
just
villain.
press X and A at the same time.
The launch. That's important.
Yes.
I forgot about the Jedi skateboard trick.
You forgot about that? That's my favorite part.
I forgot douchebags using the Force the best way they can.
Shunk. God.
But no, see, there are there's villain just to be a villain is always the annoying thing of, you don't really have a point. You just enjoy it and that's it. And it's like, yep, that's it. I'm like, that's kind of boring. Frieza is...
But there's some instances where, like, that makes sense. I think Frieza was kind of a weird thing. Cell. Cell is evil just to be evil. He's a dick. Kind of to just be a dick.
See, I wouldn't put Frieza in that, because Frieza is the definition of... No, he was born into a dictatorship hierarchy. This is his, like... His entire family is about this. Cell was just born and immediately was like, I must fight. And I'm like, yep, that's about it.
And you could say that's, like... I mean... Yes, you couldn't say that that's part of the Saiyan blood in him, but at the same time, that's how he was written. That is exactly what he was made to do.
Where, like, my thing is, like, a villain that's just to be a villain is always, like, if they acknowledge that his plot is stupid, I'm fine with that. If they don't and try to take it super seriously, it's like, what was it, Carnage. That's the definition of kill just to kill, and they acknowledge how dumb it is.
But he has fun doing it, and that's why Carnage is a fucking great villain.
Exactly.
But that's also that also is the reason that makes Venom a very good anti-hero.
Which I always do love, like, it's a weird thing of it was a Venom Broly debate, I remember, and it's like, why are these characters popular? They don't do much. And it's like,
Venom does more than Broly.
Venom does more than Broly, and that was my first thing. And then the second thing is like, the reason Broly's enjoyable and that entire movie's just like fun is because it is just straight slaughter. Like,
which movie?
Original Broly. That is just straight slaughter. That's not a fight. They got slaughtered.
I'm just gonna be honest. Part of that movie, part of the joy of that movie. Also, there's a giant pool up here.
Okay, hold on. I'm on the way.
Part of the joy of that first Broly movie, to me, and this is very niche toward the American audiences, but that rock soundtrack with Disturbed.
And that's also the thing of
it was too good.
It was good,
too
and
fucking good.
I wasn't the only one where when we watched the Super movies, like, I missed the rock soundtrack.
Yeah, no, because that was when it was like the weird time in the '90s where Funimation didn't know what American audiences liked and didn't realize that American audiences had like intelligence, I would say, and they're like, oh, big thing, breeding up thing. Let's just play some rock music, call it a day. and it worked. It made it fucking awesome.
But like that was also the transitional phase of how do we get what was it, Western audiences to actually watch this more than just like the movies.
But to be fair, that was just kind of Japanese thinking that all Americans are kind of idiots, which is totally fine.
Which they are. In majority are idiots. Let's be honest.
No. Don't call them they. We are part of that system.
But like, what was it? But no, the thing about the Broly movie, which the one thing I enjoy the most is them getting literally like destroyed. And my favorite scene in that entire movie is Broly coming out of the building and just grabbing Gohan and riding him along the building.
And then he just fucking, oh god. Honestly, I still think that's Team 4 Star's best movie, and I think it's just like what you're talking about. That entire scene is encapsulated in the slapstick scene.
Oh yeah, no, that's how that I am like that sound effect is the perfect rendition of how that movie is.
Yep. Did you ever watch the marathon for the when they did the DBZA?
I only funny enough, I only watched the Broly one. I was not in the mood to do a Dragon Ball Z movie binge. I've done that before. Not Team 4 Star, just regular Dragon Ball Z.
Enough.
And I'm like,
I did not actually. I've watched them all over time. I just never binged them all.
It was during my Dragon Ball Z binge, funny enough. Like I looked up because that's how I learned that the movies weren't actually like what canon? The term not canon actually meant was some of the Dragon Ball Z movies. Because you always look at watch order.
To side rail for a second. I got into anime very late in terms of like I knew what Naruto was, I knew what Dragon Ball was. I didn't know that they were anime. I thought they were just badass cartoons.
Well, it's one of the things where like there are two separate margins because once again it is the how do we sell this to Western audiences. I knew that they were anime. I knew they were from Japan, but I didn't know what else there was. Because like all you know is like
sorry, I just died.
I am like, I gotta see what you do when it comes to face plants. It was one of the things where like
you just gotta laugh.
It was one of the things where like you assume that it's usually the same stuff, like it's usually action based or whatever. Like, cause majority of what people watch was on Toonami. Like in all honesty.
Yeah, and that was just mostly. I'm not familiar with Toonami, so I am not intelligent enough to really like talk about this.
I got you on that one.
But most of it was mostly shonen, correct?
Yes, a vast majority was shonen, because that was once again anime is like once you realize what anime is, it's just like regular TV. There's a threshold full of different crap, but that was the easiest one to sell to.
Like Kuriko's basketball, go watch it now.
But like it's the easiest one to sell because guess what? It has action. Yeah, and it's
big
weird.
Dumb Americans love action.
Exactly, but it worked, to be all honest. And then like the shonen shows, like they're not bad. They have plot lines, they have characters you enjoy. They're all not grand, but like everyone had their one they enjoyed. Like everyone watched Naruto. Like
every kid in the fucking 2000s watched Naruto, and if you didn't, you were a fucking psychopath.
Everyone knew what it was. Did you get make
even
fun of it for it? Yes.
Even the jocks knew what it was.
Would you get make fun of it for it? Yeah, yeah, you did. But
But then again, the people who made fun of you for it, they also watched it.
Oh yeah, 100%, because they could recognize it. But like, a majority of Toonami was shonen, and it always showed right after Cartoon Network, and then Adult Swim came on. But if one of the things like
this conversation about Star Wars, we haven't even talked about.
If you want me to transition to Star Wars, I can. But like,
no. We'll let it
hit
go
that
there
margin
naturally, because I have a lot to talk about.
But funny enough, when it came to anime, and I will vouch for this to the ends of Earth, the only reason I'm into anime as much as I am is because of all those technically illegal sites. The ones that aren't technically official, that have all the anime shows on it.
Yeah, like Naruto 9, Kiss Anime, just stuff like that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for those actual websites, I would not be into anime. I can say that wholeheartedly.
I'm a little different actually, because like I said, I knew what Naruto was, I knew what Dragon Ball was. I never really like delved into it. They were something that I watched when I got home from school, but I didn't know much about it. It wasn't until my freshman year when I met Chad and fucking Mason. Guys, those guys were the shit. They were like essentially what you are to me now, but in two different people. Chad was this fucking Dragon Ball nerd, and Mason was this Batman nerd. So that's where I got my love of like Batman and Dragon Ball. Like it was from the same grade. It was those two dudes. I was like when I went home and watched Dragon Ball, I was watching Dragon Ball Z Kai because that was the only thing that was actually on air at the time.
Right.
And Chad was like, "Dude, you can't fucking watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. It's just like the neutered version. You gotta watch Dragon Ball Z, bro." So
funny enough, I never watched Kai. Like I've seen it, I never watched it.
That was my first thing I ever watched was Kai.
Yeah, I never watched Kai.
I never knew what I didn't know what Majin Buu was.
The funny thing is also it's like shows helped, but you had to get them in the right order, and getting Dragon Ball Z from episode 1 was pretty much impossible. I got a lot of context from the games, oddly enough.
No, I completely agree. My first run through of the entire series was Ultimate Tenkaichi, which is unfortunate, but that's what it was.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I'm gonna be honest. You got the non-fun one.
I did. But I did get to play a very fun career mode, and I think that really did spawn my love of Dragon Ball, and that's why I thought the Xenoverse games were awesome when they came out, was because of Ultimate Tenkaichi.
Like, Xenoverses are great games, it's just like, they
terrible
can be better, but they're
combat.
But they're in the anime margin of games. They literally have their own, like, genre. Like, you don't expect much out of them, but to be honest, we both got our hours in on both of those games.
No, I could probably go back and look at how many hours I put in that game. It's probably over 200. It probably rivals the pre-sequel for me.
Like, it was a lengthy amount I put into that game, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But like, it's an anime game. They don't last that long in longevity's sake because they're more for cash grabs after a while than actual gameplay.
Especially in recent years. I think the first Xenoverse one, and this just could be my younger brain remembering it differently. The first Xenoverse to me was actually like, it was a game that was marketed as a completely different and new Dragon Ball game. And that's exactly what it was. But then Xenoverse 2 came around and it was a fucking cash grab because it was the same shit, just a little bit better.
Yeah, that's usually what to be honest, that's usually what it is.
Granted, that game was a fuck ton better. And it was, I wish that Xenoverse 2 was just Xenoverse the first one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it should have been an expansion.
Yep, 100%. It should have just been like an updated graphics, updated gameplay system, and just go from there.
Then I would treat it just as, I wouldn't treat it as badly as I do now. If it literally was an expansion, like an overhaul expansion.
I don't like that. I like Dragon Ball. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Xenoverse 2 is awesome and it was fantastic, but it's because it's 2 that it sucks.
Yeah, unfortunately you're right on that one.
Transition? Kotor is actually kind of the same way. If Kotor 1 didn't exist, Kotor 2 would actually be a much better game.
Okay, so going back to that, when it came to the first section in both games, technically,
Mining section, ew.
The first planet in Kotor 1's a tutorial. But it doesn't feel that way.
I'm trying to feel. What was the first planet in Kotor 1?
It
was Tila. It was Tila's, wasn't it?
What?
No, Terrace.
No, Terrace. But no,
yeah, because you have to go through the the ship, and then you get off of it.
Ship is the base tutorial. Then you go through dialogue choices with the beginning. The moment you exit the apartment, you're immediately faced with a dialogue choice of help the alien or don't help the alien.
Yep, and that's what starts you on your journey becoming a cold-hearted Sith.
Then
that's the only choice you could take.
Then exploring the planet is basically your exploration tutorial of going to these different places, yield different things.
Yep.
You get a stealth tutorial via the Rancor.
No. Call it what it is. Because for you, it was not a stealth tutorial.
Oh, no, I beat that thing. No, I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know how I did that as a kid. I had to look up how to beat it
because I didn't know you could stealth it.
I didn't know either. I don't know how I did that as a kid so easily.
You must have had a fuck ton of grenades.
Something. I don't know. I just know I killed it, and I'm like... And redoing that game again, I'm like, how did I kill this thing that precisely? Because like even I have some.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have no fucking. I don't know how I did it as a fucking adult. So I just snacked past it.
But like I'm fine that a first planet is your tutorial planet, but like its definition of what is there to do and how much fun the planet is.
And in that
Because-
regard, Kotor 1 does a lot better.
Oh crap.
Did you fall?
Yeah, no, I think Kotor 1 does it better because it feels more streamlined. Like you've gone through.
It feels natural.
Like you see my point with Kotor 2, where it's more story than it actually is gameplay. Which
Which I think is fine.
it's just you got to keep
But
yourself
you don't
interested.
You don't need 2 tutorial sections. And that's what Kotor 2 had. It had 2 different tutorial sections, which, at least, I tried to run through it as quick as I could. And you know me, I do take
You
my
can't
time
run
with
through
games.
that. Like even then, like at least
It
an
took me 10
average
hours.
person to run through that.
It took me 10 hours, and I've already played those sections a shit ton when I was a kid, and a shit ton when I was an adult. Which means, for someone who may not have played this before... Oh, I'm dead.
I'm too. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I somehow survived that.
I fell off and I broke my neck. That is canonically how Krieger's sister's story ends. She doesn't even have a name, by the way.
She won't ever have a name. She'll just be mentioned, but never, like, anytime anyone tries to go in on it, like, something happens that changes the subject immediately.
I think, actually, I did give her a name. It was just a shitty version of Yavin, because I couldn't think of anything. But she doesn't have a name.
But what was it? No,
Her name was stricken from the records.
the thing about Kotor's beginning section is that, for one, I actually feel like it's too long.
Kotor 1?
Kotor 2. Kotor 2
No,
section
it's
feels...
way too long. Like, I remember sections of that tutorial, and it did need to be there. And there's sections in the later games that did need to be there. Now, I did do some research afterwards. I don't know if you knew this about the production.
Rushed.
It was rushed,
Yeah.
but it was also, the production was taken so people can work on Jade Empire.
Okay, so the thing about... That's interesting. The thing about Kotor's section is... And I think I know the main reason why the first one feels too lengthy. And just hear me out on this one. You're kind of alone for the first section, so everything feels empty.
Yeah, no, that because you're doing a bunch of running back and forth.
Like, if the first section was, like, helping out the mine facility, and then it turned into, you know, HK doing HK's thing. And then
It would have been a little bit better, but you don't have anyone to bounce anything off of.
Yeah, and you're alone for most of it, and then you switch between that and the droid, who's also alone for most of it.
And the
Krea's
droid
doing
is
nothing.
a cool part. I will say Kreia is important, but the fact that she doesn't come with you is kind of stupid.
And like it takes up until you hit until the ship docks. For
Yeah,
stuff.
because then like the tensions actually start rising. You honestly could have started the game with the well, actually, do you remember how the ship docks?
You have to you accidentally okay. It docks itself while you're trying to go outside the ship, correct?
Yes. So essentially, what happens is you could have skipped that entire fucking part, and I'll tell you how. So you have when you start, you have to go. First, you have to fucking find Kreia, which doesn't take long. It takes like literally 5.
She's literally like down, literally
Yeah,
down.
she's like 3 minutes away, like 2 minutes away.
It doesn't really help you that
Then you
much.
have to go
but,
find
you
Karth number 2.
know. Who turned out? You mean better Karth? You mean not Karth?
Karth 2.0. Better.
You
Sorry.
mean Pazak main?
Yes. I will talk about Atten later. I think Atten is actually a really awesome character. He just reminded everyone of Karth, so no one paid attention to him.
Yeah, I still hate Karth character. It's not a goody two shoes. He's in your face about everything you do.
But he has a reason, and I think at least in this game it is warranted. I think the conversation that we had about him playing Pazak in his head.
Yeah, Axton playing Pazak is great. Like, see, here's the thing. Karth straight
That's
up says
cool.
he doesn't trust anybody in Kotor 1. I am perfectly fine with that if you don't trust me, but I'm your only option. So you can intervene on stuff
don't
I
be
say.
a dick.
Yeah, you can intervene on stuff like Mission and Zalbar. They can intervene on anything I do because they're outside of the circle. Like, they had their own
But also-
lives before this.
Zalbar doesn't disrespect you. Mission is just a kid. So if she disrespects you, it comes from a place of immaturity.
And she usually
Karth
tries to
is a
justify.
soldier. He has no respect.
Karth doesn't justify anything he says. Mission justifies what she says. It might not be the right thing, but she tries to justify it. Like, my favorite thing is, do you remember when you have to choose between the two, gang factions? In Kotor 1, for the swoop race, you have to choose between two factions.
Yes, I do. You can either sabotage or you can do it straight.
Yes, so if you choose to sabotage and go for the evil crew, Mission's like, but we said we're going to do it for this guy, and then you can convince her to say, they treat you like a kid, literally they didn't hire you to do this, they hired me to do this. They don't even help you half the time. And she's
that
like,
makes sense.
Like, it's not a bad option.
God damn it, Karan.
That was all you that time, I know what you're talking about.
Fuck off.
And
continue.
it's not actually an evil choice, because once again, they're both gangs. So, like, it's not like you're choosing between the lesser of two evils. Yes, there's still the stupid light and dark path for that.
But they're gangs.
But, yes. And Mission justifies you, like, going like, why didn't you help them? Is because, for one, they treat you like a kid. Two, they don't actually give a crap. They just want the part and a racer so they can win. So it really doesn't matter. As long as we get what we want,
it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. And once again, not like I have allegiance to any of these guys. But like, I prefer, if a character's going to intervene on a choice, you got to give me justification.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give...
Which is why Karth doesn't fucking matter, because
Karth is a soldier. He better give me the, like, most correct justification possible for decisions.
And he doesn't. Which is kind of why I think Kreia is a little bit... I know she's kind of... It's not exactly the same, because she is supposed to be your Force Master, at least for the first, like... For most of the game until the end. But she... Because I did a bunch of research on Kreia just before I played the game and after. She opposes you no matter what you do in most situations, and which makes sense because she's supposed to get you to think about what you did, not necessarily if you were right or wrong, but she just wants you to think about it, which
and I'm fine with that.
Annoying, yes, but it
makes sense because, like, in all honesty, like, is the definition of there's the Mass Effect, like, choice. I love this. Oh,
I'm sorry. What'd you do?
I just glitched to the air for a second. But no, there's the Mass Effect, and let's be honest, Mass Effect choices are so obvious. Like, they're not.
No.
They are the definition of...
I still like Mass Effect 3's ending, but it really is like black and fucking white.
Oh, sorry, not the ending. I mean the choices to do Renegade, Paragon. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no really thinking about it.
You just do it.
Now, if they would have hidden the options, that would have been more interesting.
What do you mean?
If they hid that this is an obvious Paragon action or this is an obvious Renegade option, it would have made their choices slightly more interesting. And
but
in games do that more often.
I see what you're saying. You're very right, because it does hinder, like, I'm just gonna play Paragon and I'm gonna be a good guy because I'm a good guy.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like that your choices kind of affect your powers a bit, but I kind of hate it at the same time.
For Mass Effect or for Star Wars?
This is for Kotor. Kotor 1 specifically more than Kotor 2. 2 is more lenient. 2 was...
Yes, I will comment on the fact of it, because I did a true neutral playthrough. I actually did that. Like, I would stay neutral basically the entire time. I only land... Like, you know how reports will go blue or red, depending on what you choose? I was gray the entire time besides 2 instances because I leaned one way or the other just a little bit too much, and then I immediately backtracked.
Which, like, I'm fine with that. Like, it's RPG. You can play the type of character you want to play. But there are times where you just want to say, let me just try my own choices and see what happens. Like, let me play me and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can do that in RPGs. Other times you really can't. And
no. Like, Dragon Age comes to mind. It really kind of is black and white for a lot of it. I haven't played Inquisition, so I can't speak on that one. But for Origins and for 2, it's very much you're a dick, you're a comedic dick, or you're a nice guy.
And I can't remember Inquisition's choices all too much. Because
It's
once
kind,
again, that game is
yeah.
huge.
Like I said, I'm gonna be playing that when I get the next gen console. There's like 3 games that I'll be doing that with,
hmm
and that's one of them because I just I don't want to start it on this one because it's gonna take forever.
But the only there are only a few games I know RPGs. Like once again, I still say Witcher does it best. There's no black and white. There is whatever you feel based on the context that you have, whether it be a lot or nothing.
I haven't played much of it, but from what I have, you're 100%
You
correct.
played the Baron quest. That is literally all you need to kind of understand how the choices
Yep.
kind of work. And you like, no, I could say this. Spoilers for the Baron stuff if you haven't played Witcher 3, because
Yeah, spoilers.
I'm gonna
Come on,
keep
guys.
that
It's
going.
like 10 years fucking old.
But
Or,
no,
no, is it 6 years old at this point?
it's lengthy now. It's been out for a while.
About 2014, 2016, something like that.
Something like I think it's 16.
16? Because we were definitely in high school.
We were in high school because I remember that because I'm like I couldn't get it when it first came out. Like that was on my list of stuff to get. Oh, that's amazing.
Meanwhile, I was playing the latest COD because I am a celeb.
But no, when it comes to choices in RPGs, I prefer the based on the context of how you feel. What is the best choice? Not this is obvious evil, this is obvious good. Because the Baron is hey, you were hired for a job. I need you to do it.
Do the job.
And it's like your choice is
Baron,
like it's not like
why are you being an asshole right now?
I was hired for the job. I do got to finish this out because I do need the gold and the points and stuff for it, and I do need the information on Siri. But then you
But
kind of
it's
learn.
how you it's how you deal with the Baron that really gives you the black and white or gray, whichever one you choose.
Because you can get his wife, you cannot get his wife back. You could find out what happened and why she left and decided to go for that's bad if she goes that route. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think I haven't. I remember the daughter more than I remember. What happened with the wife? I know he beat her.
Yeah, beat her. I think it was to death.
Was it to death?
I don't because if the person you find in the woods was his daughter, right?
No, the one you find in the city is his daughter because his daughter ran away.
Right,
You're
right.
right. He did kill his.
No,
No.
never mind. No, his wife was
His
in
wife
the
didn't
woods.
die.
His wife was in the woods. His daughter was in the city. But you find out the context through it's not a simple it's a main story quest. So you know you're gonna be doing stuff for a while, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
but it's not as simple as my daughter and my wife ran away. Go get them back. There's depth. There's layers.
And it becomes that
The
at
game
first.
is like onions. It has layers.
But it becomes I need you to find my wife and daughter. Okay, I found them. They don't want to come back.
Sorry. 1 second.
Mhm.
What song is playing for you right now?
I don't know.
I have that Vietnam song where it starts with the. What's the? Let me restart it real quick. Da 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 da.
No. I got the smooth Jet Set Radio beat going.
Okay, I have it's the Vietnam song that starts out with the not the trumpet, but the flute, and then it goes "Gone Kanitaki, running on your way."
No. I don't got that one.
Gotcha. I don't know why, but this game has a lot of different music choices,
But no,
and it vibes.
But no, when it comes to Kotor and just choices and that, that's the thing about a Star Wars RPG. Don't get me wrong, wanna have a lightsaber. I don't want to have to choose between Sith and Jedi option.
I don't want that all the time. I think for Kotor 1, I think that was perfectly. I think it worked for exactly what happened with Revan and Revan's story, because Revan was both sides, so
It makes
naturally
sense.
he would want to go back to one or the other. He has been to both. But the whole theme of 2 and the whole the director himself, the person who directed the game, he wanted to go more in depth of, all right, what does it mean to be a Jedi? What does it mean to be a Sith? Is there balance? And that's why he created Kreia to express what he disliked about the franchise as a whole.
And it's like Kreia is a great character in terms of questioning and stuff. But my thing about Kotor at this, like, if they were to make another Kotor, do not make your character already have been a Jedi or Sith.
No, I think, honestly, take a step from the Jedi Academy game. As shit as that game was, it was fucking fun.
Yeah, no, like, literally just treat the Jedi, Sith, and all the others. There's a whole bunch more depending on what timeline you want to go down. Treat them like factions.
Yeah.
That would be the easiest way to do it. If
you can have so many factions, too. Honestly,
and just
side change it for a second. It'd be awesome if you can choose to do neither Sith nor Jedi and be a Night Sister. But you only could do it if you're a female.
Yeah, no, and that's a faction-specific thing. And that gives you the perks of, and like I said, perks and powers that come with the faction. Go ahead, I'm perfectly fine with them being restricted to them.
Yeah, like, because that offers more, like, that incentive. Offers replayability.
Incentive and replayability, but, like, the thing about Kotor...
areas.
I'm down. The thing about Kotor is that, you play as the set Jedi, even though Kotor 2, you're technically exiled.
Yeah, you're still a Jedi.
But the teachings are still in you, so, like...
What the fuck is this place? Why is it so blue?
What are you talking about? It's fine. I'm asking questions. Okay.
So, I guess kind of going through my, like, I'm on the final fight for anyone who's interested. I am just about to fight Kreia. So I've basically beaten the game at this point besides that final confrontation. The game has some spots where it performs really well, and... Oh god, I just died. And there are points where I'm like, I binged this game for about 13 hours when I first started playing it. I binged through, what was the first? The mining place, Pragus, and then Telos. I completely got through them all, like, within, like, 13 hours. It took me 13 hours to finish the fucking tutorial. That should not happen.
Okay, Pragus is the planet immediately after the mining facility, correct?
No, Pragus is the mining facility.
Oh, I forgot the name of the mining facility. I just keep calling it mining facility.
That's fine.
But yeah, no, like...
But I'm only at 25 hours.
Which actually is perfectly fine for that game.
Do the math.
That's the thing about it. Like, that...
No.
Sorry.
13 hours, tutorial.
Yeah.
25 hours, end of game.
And I still, like, I have debates about that first planet you go to when it comes to backtracking. I don't know. Something about that planet is very bland. I think that's what it is.
I think there's no conflict. Like, the only conflict you have is, like, the gangs, and even then, it's, like, few and far between. It's, like you said, it is mostly story. And if you're not paying attention, or if you don't care, then it's not interesting, it's not fun. For me, personally, I had a blast. I enjoyed Kreia's, like, little ramblings. I enjoyed Atten being Atten. And I enjoyed getting chased by a bunch of HK-50s.
Which, beautiful.
Was adorable, by the way. I went completely full into repair so I can get HK as soon as possible. When you tell him that there's been a bunch of different models of him running around, he goes, "Ah, why would there be any models of me? After, I'm clearly the best one. This cannot be, master."
Like, okay, the thing about, like, the thing about RPGs is that side characters make and break a story. Like, once again, my rule is they all don't have to be gold. They can be, like, you can have some terrible ones, but if you have some good ones in there and some great ones, then yeah, it's like it works for me in a large degree.
Yeah, and then there's some companions that I had my talk with after I got them, and I thought they were very interesting. Not a lot of people like this character, but I found him very interesting. Was what was his name? I don't remember his fucking name.
Was it the
It was the guy with the robot hand.
Yeah, the Darth Maul race that I can never remember the name of.
Yeah, that one. I sat down and I talked to him for like an hour. He was really cool. I enjoyed talking to him. I never fucking used him in combat because he sucked. Never talked to him after that because they really didn't do anything with him. But that time that I had with him was really awesome. On the other hand, there's a disciple. Fuck that guy. Skipped
never talked to
every
him.
single part of his dialogue.
Once again, the
I
mail
didn't
route.
skip any dialogue besides his.
Yeah, no, I never.
Okay, so also for anyone who's going to play Kotor, this is my planet. Like this is how I did it. You start off with going to Pragus. You have to do that, and you have to go to Telos after that. Do Nar Shaddaa first, because at that point, you can get your lightsaber very quick. Look up how to do it. I will not spoil it for you, but that is the fastest way to get it. You meet a lot of interesting characters, and then Nar Shaddaa is probably the best place to go for Kreia. In terms of like, she doesn't bore you, but Nar Shaddaa is a very weird planet to go on because there's a lot of dark side energy, and she'll just have a lot to comment. After that, either do Korriban or Alderaan, because you kind of like those planets have mandatory skips, and if you do them back to back, it makes them a lot faster. And then just do Dantooine last, because Dantooine's like I think it's, besides Korriban, it's the second fastest, and it's the most fucking boring.
I remember Dantooine being very boring.
That was the first one that we did when we did our playthrough like a year ago.
I remember
and it was the
that.
fucking worst.
Also,
that is exactly why we
that
stopped.
Jedi fight, I remember that one being very difficult.
Yep, because you didn't have force lightning.
Yeah, because I just used mines. Because when in doubt, technology.
And also, I learned something. So I only killed one of the Jedi Masters, and I let the other two live. But I didn't want to fight the other one. It was an accident. I accidentally chose Darkseid. And it was the one on Alderaan. You can choose to support, because like two armies were going at it. It's the Queen versus the General, and they're fighting for Alderaan. And I was just doing side quests, and I accidentally started doing the ones that were for the Sith, or I guess for the dark side. And after you do that, you're automatically locked in. You have to support the General. You can't choose the other side, and then you have to fight the Master. I didn't plan for that to happen. That's just how it happened. But if you do that, if you kill one of them and you let the other one live, then they will automatically attack you.
Okay.
So like you have to, if you kill one of them, you have to go dark side.
See, once again, that's that,
which kind of sucks.
That's why, like, it's the weird part of, like, don't get me wrong, everyone wants to be the Jedi. Everyone wants to have a lightsaber. No one wants to be a Jedi or Sith. They just want a lightsaber. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
After that...
You know my philosophy. I think they're both fucked.
Yeah, but Darkseid always has cooler lightsabers than Lightside.
Well, yeah, that's why I have a double-bladed green one.
Basically, it's just, like, you want to be able to play a character that, like, your choices don't feel like you're going to Sith or Jedi, right? You're just choosing good or evil.
You're being a person.
Yeah. Like, if you feel like this army is more beneficial to you than the other one, perfectly down for it.
Which, if I might segue, is exactly what Kreia mentions when you're going to do the Alderaan one. Because when you're going to do that, no, not Alderaan. I'm sorry, Nar Shaddaa. There's an enemy faction called the Exchange, which is essentially just like the mob.
Yeah, the Exchange. I remember. Like, I have a lot of memory of the Exchange. Like, they are actually a very powerful group, in all honesty.
They're fucking devastating. They show up everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
They show up fucking everywhere.
They are efficient.
They're very well funded. Fucking Hutts.
Which, that's a whole margin on its own. Also, I still love that no force persuasion actually works on them. But the option's still there.
Because... oh, also... I did not choose to do Persuade. And it did not make the game harder at all. Because you can get force persuade at like level 12.
Yeah, and that's also my thing of, like, in RPGs. Like, Persuade is nice, but once again, it's like how we were playing Pathfinder. I want to have different options for different stats.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because if I have high strength,
what was I saying?
you were going with something about the Exchange.
Oh yeah, Nar Shaddaa in the Exchange. Kreia is like, the Exchange is very powerful. They could really lend aid to what we are trying to do. She didn't pick the exchange because they were good. She didn't pick the exchange because they were evil. It was a necessary of what they were doing. It was because they have the best chance to help you succeed. And that's what Krea's teachings essentially are kind of supposed to be, is work smarter, not harder. That's kind of what her entire philosophy is.
Right, yeah, and her that's the deal of like you as a like that's the idea
Oh
of
god,
choices.
I'm dead.
Oh, it's fine. Death is just
Come
an
here.
illusion.
Let me show you what the fuck. Just
Are
pause
you at the top?
conversation really quick.
All right.
Right here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, buddy. Elevate. Alright. Whoop!
Oh, didn't land that. All right, tuck and roll.
I do want to show you something because I don't think I showed you this earlier. Press and hold LB and then press B.
Oh, that would have been great to see all your fails.
Yep. Me and Brady found this out after we were trying to have a competition, and we kept trying to go at the same time. But then we just found out we could just watch each other, and that's so much simpler.
Oh, that's great. But what was it?
Okay.
So
what we're talking about?
when it comes to choices in games, there's the best option is okay, help these guys, don't help these guys, screw over these guys, betray them later, screw over these guys, betray them later. Try to come to a conclusion. Like, there's a lot of different things you can choose, but then it becomes, okay, as you keep going down this route, you start doing the options more and more. And I like having fail routes.
Which I think... What was the game at it? I think probably Mass Effect 2 kind of encapsulated that the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what was the, No, not 2. I think, actually, no, was it 3? It may have been 3. I'm trying to remember specifically which instance I'm thinking of. They're all kind of blurring together. Never mind. I'll think of it when I think of it.
But no, it's my thing of, like, what was I trying to say? Options are great, but I like to have fail options. Like, that's the best, like, it's one of the good things about D&D campaigns is knowing that even though you tried, the series of events that unfolded caused it to fail. Like, not saying that there's nothing you could have done, it's just that the route you took and the choices you make with these parties is not always going to go your way. You got to kind of...
Because that's kind of how real life happens.
And like,
you don't always succeed.
Once again, those games are old and they are limited to the fact that they are 3D. Like, if they were like the older classic ones, they would have a lot more text to them, but they also be more in depth, and that's kind of the trade-off. Where like having multiple routes requires a lot of animations and just like a large tree of if this happens, then this happens, then this happens, which it's RPGs.
And then it just all spirals from there.
And once again, it's an older one. Like, for its time, it was great, and it still is to its story. But like, if they make a new one, I need to have fail routes in my
No, I actually completely agree, and that was one of the failings of the game entirely. Is they have this entire notion of Krea, and they have the entire notion of you should be better than being a Sith or than being a Jedi, and her whole philosophy is wanting to see both of them realize the error of their ways, but the dialogue never really gives you a chance to really delve into that, ever. Like, at all. And that kind of sucks, because that means that the entirety of the main antagonists of your game, just by your game's dialogue standards, is wrong, because it doesn't give you a choice to agree with Krea. At all. Ever. Like, I did, when you kill the Jedi Masters, you're given, like, well, this is technically the dark side, playthrough, so mind that. After you kill them, she asks why, and you are never, doesn't matter what you pick, she says the exact same dialogue. I tried. I reloaded multiple times. And that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because that really does negate the point of what you're trying to bring the message to your players. Like, Krea, I'm gonna go back to what I said about the director, how he made Krea to kind of be an outlet for what he thought about the series as a whole. which I think is an awesome way to do that, and I think Kreia is an awesome fucking character. But you kind of ruin your own point when you don't really give the player, like, they have to disagree with you no matter what.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like I agree with Kreia in a sense, where I think both of their philosophies suck ass. But the game didn't give me a choice to agree with that.
But you know,
the
interesting part is like, I don't think there's an option to say, like, you always say, Kreia, this is worth it, it's not worth it. Or like you try to convince her that it actually has a point to it. But you never really go to her and say that her whole philosophy is stupid.
No.
Because,
you don't.
In all honesty, Kreia's philosophy is that nothing has purpose.
She has a nihilistic view on life.
But you can never disagree with her and try to convince her of that.
You always... yes, you're very much correct. And that fucking sucks. Because
like,
that means you're... like, that means just... Again, not necessarily that the director himself, I don't think that he intended this, but the limitations of the game. I'm watching you, by the way. I saw that.
All right, time to restart.
That means that the limitations of the game don't allow for the players to challenge or acknowledge at all.
And like, if that's
you
the
were saying
point
is,
of the director's thing, is like, I want to challenge how dumb all this stuff is. You got to let people be able to say, I don't agree with you. And you kind of do by the end of it. Like, I remember the ending dialogue choices, but they're still not, like, solid. They're not great. Like, when you get the Kreia's final dialogue, you'll kind of see what I mean.
Though, yeah, I'm going to finish it tomorrow morning. But I also do think a lot of that does have... let me call you. Let me just mute myself down phone real quick. Give me one. Toss yourself. Do it.
What?
My dad's calling. I'm gonna answer him really quick.
Gotcha. You're all good, man.
Thank God I muted that conversation.
It was bad.
No, it was not bad in terms of him. It was just I had to tell him something, and then it was not. You would have had to cut it from the recording.
That's not a good sign.
No, I'll tell you about it whenever we cut the recording, if I can remember it. Or,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's just funny because you know me, in terms of my vices, and my dad's friends in high school had the same vices when they were younger, and we just talked about something. It was pretty funny. That was it.
Gotcha.
Yes, audience, I like hookers and blow, but only if they're transgender hookers.
You know, you beat me to it.
I saw you jump off a building. What the fuck?
I didn't jump off a
building. Why did I die?
Wait, you died?
I fell.
Okay.
Is my game on difficult? My game might be on difficult. I don't remember.
You might have increased the difficulty to make yourself feel better.
Probably not. Probably. What were we talking about?
We're going off of Kreia's philosophies and how you can't really go against it. But
no,
it's
you can't.
Like I said, I enjoy the lore is great. That's the thing about Kotor. The lore is amazing. You get so much information and so much
That was
cool.
probably my favorite. That was probably my favorite part, is learning about. Do you know exactly why or what the exile is?
I
or what
know,
happened?
It's always like me forgetting this, because I know you told me this multiple times, but I always forget the exact details, because I know he was an apprentice for Revan after a certain turning point.
Not exactly. So shorthand, essentially what happened. It relates to Darth Nihilus. In when Malachor 5 happened, the mass shadow generator basically was supposed to kill all. It was supposed to kill all Force sensitives on that planet. It was essentially just meant to wipe out the Jedi and the Sith all in one go. And I don't remember who. I think it was it was the Jedi Order who issued it. And the problem that the Jedi Order had with Revan and the Exile is they went to go fight in the Mandalorian Wars, but the Jedi Council didn't think that they should have.
Which
right?
I do. Also, do
Pacifism
you remember?
as its
Do you remember
flaws
the
of
reason
pacifism.
why the Mandalorian sided with Revan? Do you remember the reason?
I forget specifically,
Essentially,
but I know why. It's because he fought.
no.
Because he
Essentially,
knows what it's like to be a warrior, correct?
and essentially, it was Canderous put it. We're Mandalorians. There was a challenge. We came up to
Oh,
it.
yes.
It was
Yes.
It's like the most warrior reason.
I remember exactly what Mandalore said. The reason that the Mandalorians went to go fight the Republic is the Republic was supposed to be the greatest force this galaxy has ever seen. And to Mandalorians, that gave them a throbbing erection.
Literally.
And they wanted to go pound that Republic pussy.
And I just love that that's the reason. Like, it was a challenge.
And that's exactly what Mandalorians are based on. And I just, off the top of my head, this actually gives me a lot of insight into the Mandalorian show, because all of those philosophies for the Mandalorians is represented in that show very well.
I gotta watch that show when season 2's done.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. Everyone's like, "Have you seen the Mandalorian yet?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna wait."
I gotta get on the
over.
train before it hits like 5 seasons. Let me put it that way.
Have you not seen season 1 at all?
Nope.
Gotcha. I will not say a damn thing.
Because the thing
but
about that, the reason I didn't watch
very
it, because
good.
I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, Disney's either gonna make a good show or they're gonna fuck it up. Let's just wait and see what happens.
Everyone's been saying
Everyone's
it's been
happy
pretty
so far.
so far.
So far, but no.
Check locations. What was I talking about?
Exile.
I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Exile.
Yeah, you see how
So-
often it happens to me now when I talk.
I understand. So,
Mhm.
what happened with the Exile and what happened with specifically with Dark Nihilus, because they're both essentially tied. You know how Kreia calls you a wound in the Force or an echo?
Mhm.
All right. So essentially, with all okay. So you know how in Order 66, Yoda and Dooku and all the living Jedi could basically feel a great disturbance, and they were physically harmed by it. Like they groveled in pain. Essentially, that exact same thing happened, just on both sides of the spectrum, both dark and light. So it created a wound, and it created I guess a gap, or I guess how the game referred to it as, it would be an echo. It created something that wasn't supposed to be there, but it was like an empty void.
Mm-hmm.
The Exile was so damaged by this because Jedi are so connected to the Force that she couldn't take it. So she cut herself off from the Force to save herself.
Mm-hmm.
Kreia, in the Exile, in doing so, essentially cut off all ties to strength and power, which to someone from the dark side is insane. You cut yourself off from the living power that fuels you. Like, if Sion did that, Sion would be dead, because Sion is pure strength and force. Right?
Mhm.
So, oh my god, there's a statue in it, and you can jump off it, that's amazing. Darth Nihilus was also on Malachor 5. Instead of cutting himself off from the Force, he fed basically on the Force from others. So he became a consumer. That's why Darth Nihilus and the Exile are essentially two halves of the same coin. One was so burdened and so hurt by this that they completely cut everything off. Well, the other one was so burdened and so hurt by it that they started stealing from the other side just to sustain their own life. So essentially, why Kreia, I guess I already said it, but why Kreia was so enamored by the Exile is because Kreia hates the Force. Willingly, the Exile cut themselves off from something that Kreia hated. So, to Kreia, this is someone that is unique, is different from a Jedi, but also yet not exactly a Sith. Does that kind of make sense? Did I explain that correctly?
Yeah, see, that brings up her point of, like, she hates both sides, but she hates the fact that there's a side that doesn't choose.
Well, not essentially that. Kreia just hates the Force in general. She doesn't like that everyone depends on it. Light or dark.
Well, you kind of need to be frankly honest. Like, in all honesty...
You're not wrong, and I'm not disagreeing, because Kreia, I think, is wrong. The Force can be used. Well, I think... Okay, so, you know how I was kind of comparing this to politics earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If Kreia was essentially a political party, and the other two are Democrat and Republican, Kreia's philosophy would just be like, alright, no more parties. That doesn't solve anything.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't fix anything.
The problem is that, like, it would be different if there was an actual thing that would be able to exterminate the Force entirely, which is impossible because that concept is so freaking open that it's pointless.
Mm-hmm.
But the
well, it's because
fact
the
is,
Force always finds a way.
And the thing about that is that, for one, you can't... Okay, so hold on, let me just get into this junk, because this is where it gets kind of confusing when it comes to Star Wars mythology and crap. There's magic, but there's also science.
Night Sisters.
But there's also the
Midichlorians.
Force.
Magic.
Which
just
is
different type of magic.
But no, it's also a different type of science.
Which is really fucking weird.
But
and,
it's also all over the place.
Just to side rail on this for a second. The Path of the Jedi, which I'm reading at the moment, mentions this. It's like, yeah, so like there's the Force, but there's also science of the Force, but then there's also regular science.
Okay, and then there's... So, let me phrase this. Then there's also... It has its limits, but it's also limitless. Then it becomes, okay...
The way I always kind of looked at it is you have... crap, I actually just forgot. What was the term that we just used? We have...
Science, Force, magic.
Yeah, okay, so we have magic in the world, which is like the Night Sisters, which is kind of weird because it really only uses the dark side. So I mean, you have to use the dark side to use magic.
Does it? That's because Fallen Order counters that. If you use it against the Sith, is it still technically using it?
I don't know.
Because you kill the Sith to sustain the magic and the heritage of your culture by using the dark arts, but it's not technically dark arts though. It's just that the way you have your entire society is based around it to a degree where it's not super dark actually. It's not like the Night Sisters are evil.
No, they're not.
They just accidentally based their philosophy on a Sith that wind up crash landing there.
The reason that the Night Sisters are regarded as evil is because that Darth Sidious fucked them over.
Which you kind of realize that Jedi and Sith they do that thing where what's the Star Trek rules? Don't interfere in other races or some junk like that.
But then they do, and they totally fuck them up.
100% because they spread their quote unquote teachings, and some societies can handle it, some can't.
Some can.
And that goes for both sides.
The Night Sisters were already a thing before Sidious, but they... I think Mother Talzin? Yeah, Mother Talzin was the one... Darth Maul's mom. She was the one that made the deal with Sidious, right? To, like, share all the dark side knowledge. And then Darth Sidious essentially just fucked them over. And so that's why the Night Sisters don't like dark side users. But they still technically use portions of the dark side in their magic. But they also don't use the dark side in their magic because they use magic.
But there's also the lore of the dark side, but there's also the lore of the light side, but then there's also the lore of not giving a crap about either.
Yeah. But there's also the lore that, like, well, reading through just, because I started reading through a little bit of the Book of Sith, and you know that the Jedi came first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Jedi came first, which means there was a light side before there was a dark side.
And there's always that argument of you technically can't have both. I mean, you technically can't have one without the other.
Yeah, so, like, was there really, or do we just not know the actual true beginnings?
I want to say that because of the Sith knowledge is so fractured Where like, all right, Jedi knowledge is fractured to a degree because they get
But
like wiped out every some centuries or so.
But they keep really good
Good
fucking records.
logs, and they keep them hidden. They keep them hidden very well.
No, they don't keep them hidden. They do not keep them hidden at all.
Compared to the Sith, that usually just leaves them around because the lore of the dark side.
The Sith usually are the ones that actually get eradicated, but they don't write stuff down because by the time when they're writing stuff down, they're already fucking dead.
And it usually doesn't matter because like Sith philosophy changes as much as Jedi philosophy at the same amount with varying knowledge. But they all have the one true ideology of they will always fight each other, except when they don't, when they have a common goal. Which is one of the reasons I like the Clone Wars so much, is because a lot of segments happen where, like, what was it? Favorite one is Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan are captured. They have to work together to get out. And it's like, or what was it? Ventress or Anakin, or Ahsoka and so-and-so. And it's like, at that point, are you both still Jedi and Sith, or are you two different? Are you the same people?
Are you
with
two
the same
different
goal?
halves of the same whole?
Exactly, and it's like, you both use the Force to get out.
And that's kind of where, well, not. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue.
Sorry. It's just the idea of that. Like the Force is always that determining factor of what you're gonna be, and a lot of people hate it. Is like, so wait, am I forced to be this no matter what? And it's like, technically, yes, you're going to be on this path for a while. Like, what does that mean? I don't know.
Now, do you think... Okay, so now that we've talked about...
What's the jump button?
Both...
Hold X?
You just have to press it. On your board or off your board?
On your board. It's just RT and X?
Jump button. Yeah, I think, you're right. It is.
Okay.
100%.
Just make sure that was
Or
it.
LT and X, whichever one you're picking.
I think each one kind of gives you maneuvers depending on what angle you're going on. And if you hold both, you can do a, I forgot the name of this. But just hold both while you're grinding. Give you more of a, I guess, forward momentum.
Didn't know that. Cool.
Forgot the name of it.
What is your opinion, like... So, I guess we have, like, the first... Okay, when you think of someone who uses both philosophies for not necessarily good or evil, but just a greater whole, who do you think of?
Who do I think of?
Yes. Because I have one person in mind that I really think embodies it, and it's an obvious answer, but I don't think it's your first choice.
Someone that embodies both?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Starkiller doesn't do that.
Until he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Explain, because I completely remember him,
okay, for one,
doing that.
Are we counting the clone as that, first off? Because that was a clone.
I am, and you don't know if it was a clone.
Yeah, we do. It's 100%.
No,
yeah.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. It's a clone.
Okay, fine. It's a clone. But I still think that is technically Starkiller.
No, because, see, that's not the embodiment of both.
Even then, if you look at it the other way, if you even go with just the first game, he still embodies both teachings.
I don't think he embodies it. I think he conflicts both teachings. He does not embody it. Because even by the end,
that's fair.
He's not. He has not mastered his ability to handle both.
But he does it better than anyone else.
Not even that. I don't think he does it better than anyone else. Is that he is in a position where he has to literally choose between his own survival versus someone else's, and he always chooses someone else's survival, which is usually his master's survival. Because in the beginning, when he's hunting for Vader, he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for Vader.
Yeah. And then at that point, he is truly just using. He's a dark side user. He is someone he's a dark side apprentice to Lord Vader.
Now, I don't think that he embodies both, because I still say he conflicts both because he never actually had the choice. That's the thing.
He never had the choice, but at the end of the game, he was like, if we just go off the games, I know the games are gonna be like they make
It's
all the
non-canon.
powers.
It
Like,
doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so like, I guess it is non-canon. Fuck, you're right.
Told you. That's
I hate that that's non-canon. By the way,
yeah.
I really do.
I do too.
Okay, at least we can agree on that one. But so I look at Force Lightning as kind of an example of this. Not entirely, but just as a small example. So Force Lightning, you're supposed to use like as a light side user, you cannot use lightning because you are using the Force and crippling it to your whim, and you are making a crackling, violent lightning force, right? That was terribly explained at the end of it, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You're using the Force, you're not letting it flow through you.
Which I actually
At
have
the
an
end of the
interest on
game-
that one.
Which really brings an aspect like
Because
not that I like this character, but it's kind of what makes Rey kind of interesting in Episode 9
you got it more
because
than
she
me.
uses both powers. You never watched 9, did you?
No. Once again, I have steered
That's
clear
right.
of watching 9 because I do not care. Like,
That's fair. Okay, so there's an instance where I'm gonna spoil the fuck out this movie, guys. I don't give a fuck because it's a terrible movie.
oh no, he's opening
So
a dumpster
neither
fire.
should you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So there is an instance where Chewie gets taken by like a ship, and in her anger for like seeing Chewie getting taken away, she uses a giant blast of Force Lightning and like blows up the ship. At that point, she was trained by Luke to be a Jedi, not necessarily a good one, because Episode 8, you know.
But there's also
But a Jedi nonetheless.
Okay.
Someone who is supposed to control their abilities, not harness the Force for raw emotion or raw power. You're supposed to let it flow through you.
Which
like
is-
she was never taught to use it, but she does in that moment in anger, and she uses a raw geep of Force Lightning. Granted, she never uses it again, but she has the ability to do so. I'm dead serious. She never uses it again. Unless I remember that movie, she never fucking uses it again.
Oh my
which is totally
God.
fucking. It's pointless.
Oh god. I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're okay. But she never uses it again. Stupid. But the fact that she can, while still being inherently a Jedi, means you can use both lightning, which is a dark side power, and you can use both healing, which is she uses healing in the movie like 3 or 4 different times, which is inherently a light side power because you're letting the Force. Is that a light side power technically?
Which one?
Okay, so just off the remember what we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
So letting the Force flow through you is the embodiment of being a Jedi. You're not supposed to bend it to your will. You're supposed to let it guide you, right?
Okay.
Is healing someone using the Force for your own will?
See, this is where I'm getting
Because if
into
you're healing someone,
the Force Lightning bit. Because, all right, here's the thing. The idea, at least baseline, about the Force is that you have to let things be. You cannot interfere. And all, like, at least in Jedi sense, the idea is that you
Yes.
kind of have to let things be.
Yep.
That includes death. However, the compromise is that if you use the Force to save a life, is that what the Force wants you to do, or is that you intervening with the Force?
exactly. So just
Which,
off of your head, is that are you
sorry,
bending the Force to your will to heal someone to save someone's life, or are you letting the Force flow through you into that person to save their life?
well, then, all right, let me put it this way.
That's where it gets
Every
messy.
time Force
That's where
Lightning
it
is
gets fucking
used,
messy.
it's used in a large amount. But let's say you wanted to jumpstart someone's heart.
Yeah.
Is that still technically manipulating the Force?
Yes.
But
Which
you're
is
also
kinda like-
letting it flow through you to someone else to heal them.
Which is why, this is kind of like this is actually exactly where I was going. Thank you for bringing that up. The Jedi and the Sith are fucking stupid.
Okay, also, one more question, because actually, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Battle meditation, light side or dark side? Really think about this for a second.
I will. Battle
Cut.
meditation. Battle meditation.
Light side or dark side? What margin?
Now, question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going off the Kotor games because unless I am mistaken, that is the only Star Wars game that I know of that has dark side powers, light side powers, universal powers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's both. Like,
Because
I think it is simply the Force being, and you are activating it for your own will, which I guess inherently would be a dark side power. Yeah. By the definition of what a dark side is,
you are improving
You're
other
letting
people's base skill, but you're also debuffing and hindering someone else's.
hindering the others. Yes.
So you're technically manipulating the Force, but letting it flow through others.
So, my question to you, because I have an answer for this, but my answer does kind of go on a tangent, so I don't really want to answer it at the moment.
We've all gone through tangents, man. Let's be honest. This is.
I know, but still, I'm gonna ask this before we go on because I don't even remember where this conversation started.
Okay, go ahead.
I know it started with Kotor, but
no, it didn't. It
But
started with
fuck.
Dragon Ball.
right? God damn it, you're right.
Uh-huh.
Fuck. What was the question? How do I phrase this?
Okay.
Okay, so battle meditation, is it light side or dark side? You're using the Force, but you're also manipulating it. Actually, no, I guess I don't even have a question. It's more like a question to myself.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, you start thinking about it, and it's like...
Well, that's kind of like... Well, you know how I feel about both of them. I think they're both fucking shit. I think they both need to learn how to compromise.
They're not... No, here's the thing. I don't think they need to learn how to compromise. I just need to... What?
I didn't know you could do that. I was just running with my skateboard. You, like, ran past me, and you just knocked it out of my hand.
I could do that?
I didn't know you could do that.
That's amazing. But no, my deal...
I didn't know you could do that.
My issue when it comes to Jedi and Sith is just like... Because I haven't read the books, so I can't really say context for that. But outside of that, you never really see anybody just having Force powers and just doing their own thing.
No, they always have to be a Jedi or a Sith.
Which I hate.
Personally, for me, I think that is more... Not necessarily the universe or as a whole. When I say the universe as a whole, I mean think of it as a fictional universe and what could be. I think that is more of people taking the original context of the original trilogy as light versus dark and not really...
I'm fine with that being a thing. I'm fine with that being a constant struggle.
That is exactly fine, because that is exactly what...
but you know what I like about the Clone Wars?
That's where everything started.
It shows everyone else saying, hey, there's a life outside of this junk that everyone else is kind of dealing with and doing.
And
like, all right.
The Jediims themselves, they think they're helping, but are they helping?
Some are, some aren't. That's the thing. Like, you can't...
Yes.
And
so like Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn was kind of like the only canonical Jedi that we know of besides maybe Mace Windu. And Mace Windu is, I don't consider to be very much a gray Jedi.
No. He is...
No. Not Mace, but Qui-Gon. Because Qui-Gon actually, just in terms of the Jedi Path book, he actually, he was an owner of the book, so you get to see his comments. And he questions the code very much. Like, one of the comments that stand out to me is when they're talking to initiates, they're talking about never leaving the temple. Unless you have very specific or short missions to leave the temple as a young age, you will not do so.
Are we grinding on a memorial?
Yes. I was gonna wait for this one, but
I was not paying attention to that.
This is the 9/11 memorial. It's not, but I kind of think it's funny that it is.
All right, so continue by Qui-Gon questioning.
Okay, so it speaks about the true purpose of the Jedi is helping those in need, or helping those in the Outer Rims, where a Jedi can truly be like useful. In terms of like there is a lawlessness, like think of like Trigun, right? Just like there is no really law, and imagine if in Trigun there was just one Jedi. just trying his best to help out people who like kind of like people who were like, what the fuck, you can fall? That's hilarious. Come here.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, just come here. So let me find the actual page. This is actually gonna bother me. One sec.
Yeah, you're good.
I have it next to me. So how's that sauna?
It reminds me of Monster Hunter.
So let me find the quote. This is gonna piss me off. One sec. Also, this is probably one of my favorite books of all time. Okay, so beyond, I'm gonna read the galaxy, stars, and the planets. Like the book is basically in like short chapters, and this is kind of the chapter: galaxy, stars, and the planets. And it says it starts with, as a youngling, your life is contained within the temple. Until you are selected as a Padawan, your trips outside the Jedi Temple will be rare and short. So essentially, what it goes on to say to basically to prepare for that day, study hard, train, and become the best person that you can be under the Jedi Code. And then it kind of explains that the inner rim is like known space, and then it starts to kind of go explain what's beyond the outer rim. And I'll kind of read the passage. Beyond the inner rim is the expansion rim, home to factory worlds that are mostly empty and decaying. Keep going and you'll pass the agricultural mid-rim on your way to the lawlessness of the outer rim territories. And this is where Qui-Gon circles the outer rim territories and says where Jedi have a true purpose. To me, what that means is Qui-Gon thinks that a Jedi's purpose is to help those in need. Not necessarily ones who are asking for it, or not necessarily ones who are under siege.
He's saying it's the way he's phrasing it is more of territory. See, we help those within this particular territory. Outside of that, well,
Well, that's what Qui-Gon's saying. You should help. We should help the ones that are outside of our territories because those are the ones who need it the most.
The thing is,
those are the ones.
Over
Granted,
the years,
there are negative effects to that because the Jedi Order will just spread their gossip and spread their gospel, and that will inherently be bad. But if you send a single Jedi or someone who is capable in the Force, not necessarily even a Jedi, which is kind of where I disagree with Qui-Gon in terms of like. Well, back to what you were saying.
Then it becomes,
if the Jedi are allowed,
are you helping people or are you making an army outside the outer rim?
True, but what I think Qui-Gon was trying to say personally is, even though his implementations of that is creating an army, which is you are correct on that. If you have it's kind of like the Spider-Man thing. If you have the power to help someone, shouldn't you help them?
And the best thing about that is there are ramifications for that.
Yes.
Well, yes.
But that's what makes this conversation so not black and white. Which is why I hate when things are put in black and white.
Like, my favorite thing, and the games do it great, the PS4 one did it great, is, hey, you remove a major player from the organization. What do you think's going to happen? Everything should be fine, right? No, there's going to be a power vacuum.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about the Spider-Man game?
Yes. My favorite thing about that is, and they do it in comics and cartoons a lot, but it's you remove the major player from this. What do you think's going to happen? It's like...
Power vacuum. And then people are going to try and scrabble for that power.
And whatever leftover stuff he has that he's not managing is going to be up for grabs. You just caused 1,000 times things that happen worse. How do you feel? And it's like, can't you guys give me a win? Like, I stopped the Kingpin. It's like... Great, now we got 15 other crimes that are going off now because of it. And it's like, you couldn't give me a win. You couldn't just say, good job, Spider-Man. And it's like, because like, it's not that easy. And sure, there are moments where you do get that, and it's nice. But in the long run of the thing, it's like, there will always be the long-term ramifications versus the short-term. Like, oh, Jason Todd, best example is, why do you let them live? Put them to the ground, you never got to deal with them ever again.
Yeah.
Short term, he's right. You never deal with them ever again.
Just to sidetrack, is Jason more of a Jedi or more of a Sith, more of a Grey Jedi? God damn it.
I just watched, so they did, funny enough, I just watched Batman, Hush. Great movie.
Yeah.
Love that movie because that was way better than I thought.
Wait, no. Have I seen? I don't think I've seen Hush. I know what you're talking about. I know what the Hush character is.
One of these days, I'm gonna make you go through the DC animated movie run.
All right, for sure. I know exactly what it is.
Good stories, but
because Jason works with Hush to get back at Batman, correct?
No, Jason's not in this one. Funny enough, it's more or less a.
Oh. There must have been a comic run then.
Yeah, comic run. The movie ones are usually slightly modified to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
But the idea is that by the end of it, it becomes it's the Batman and Catwoman relationship of like her going, you cannot actively do anything outside of your moral code, can you? You have to have this code. There's no version of this where you can't just let them die. And
yeah, and I think actually the best example of that was probably in the ending of City.
Ending of City, the Jason Todd movie, Under the Red Hood, and this movie do it very well. Fantastic. And this comes into play of Jason, whether he's Jedi Sith. Jason is a oh right, and another comic that really brought an interesting light to that. Jason isn't a Jedi or Sith. Jason is just a dude that has emotional issues that he cannot fix because he chooses not to. Jedis have the same thing. Like, they have emotional ties. I love it. They have emotional ties they choose not to fix. And they make an excuse saying that it's their moral code or it's part of their way or this person made me do this so I have to like this. Sith are the same way. Jason is neither. He's not a Grey. He's not a Sith. He's not a Jedi. He's literally just a person with a conflict that has a conflicted view that he chooses not to solve. And that's where I'm like, the games, like, I don't expect them to do that with Kotor 1 or 2 because they have a set story. But if they make another one, I need to play someone that's not on that set path. That would.
You need to, yes. I think it needs to.
Like, if
what's the word? It needs to challenge the status quo.
If they can convince me to go Jedi or Sith, that's a different story. If they can convince me as a created like original character to go either one of those routes, that's a different story.
Because also, I think this is kind of, I think for Revan it made sense, but I think for the Exile it's kind of shitty. Do you know how there's like canon stories to both of those like stories?
Yeah.
I don't think that should be a thing. Like, just in my own opinion, I don't think.
No.
Like,
Revan should have one.
Revan should
Exile
have one because
should not.
Revan. Yes.
Because Revan deserves the dark path.
You know, the canonical story is the light path.
I hate it. It is the dark path. That is that should be the canonical story because there is no version where
he would become a Jedi again
after a memory wipe
twice.
And I'm like,
well,
that's dirty. Like,
it's fucking wrong.
I'd rather them go for the kill and try to hide it. Like,
which honestly kind of would have been a little bit better of a story, to be honest.
I would have rather had them.
Revan, okay, hear me out. Just to sidetrack, keep what you were talking about. What if they tried to kill Revan like they did, but they just couldn't? He was too strong.
Which he is. He got down by accident first time. Remember that. Beskar didn't defeat him. The ship blew up. That's the best part. They could not actually beat him. He got down by accident.
I'm gonna switch maps.
Like, I want to point this out. The only reason they got him is because of a ship explosion. But my thing is that Revan's canonical ending should be the dark path because there is no version
I disagree with that, but I'll elaborate why when you finish.
All right, my reason for the dark path, in all honesty, is for one, like I said, it doesn't have to be go back to being a lord. It should just be you Jedis are messed up if you think I'm going to help you after the crap you just pulled yet again. Okay,
so you kind of contradicted yourself, and I agree with you 100%. To me, kind of elaborate what I was talking about earlier with Starkiller. Revan is the epitome of what it should be if you talk about him as a whole. what it means to be essentially a gray Jedi. I kind of don't like. The more I think about it, the more I kind of don't like the term gray Jedi because they're still using the term Jedi,
because
which is kind of like why
they can't use the term person.
Well, it's also kind of I don't like the term dark Jedi because
the deal about the Jedi is always like I said, what I enjoy about the Jedi is the same way I enjoy about a lot of superheroes, that they always have that, like, even if it's bad, there's a chance that they can be good. And
which,
like,
I think, again, that all stems from the original trilogy with Luke and Vader. Luke wanting and feeling for, like, Vader, he has a good side, and that ultimately was what won the day and what beat Sidious. But I feel like that entire philosophy turned into dark versus light and nothing else.
The thing about the Vader versus Luke thing, which I find to be hilarious, is the main reason Anakin was leaving online area was...
Yeah, so you basically can't venture outside the area that we travel into, like the challenge map. If you want to go over there, we have to switch. That's it.
All right, yeah, you're fine. It's this interesting aspect of, like, a lot of the dark side is literally lying to
and manipulation
in order to get someone to the dark side, where if you were to actually tell them the truth, then they'll be more conflicted with themselves. But the idea is that
circling back to Kreia, which I think is kind of why Kreia is a badass character. While her philosophy is completely flawed, and it offers no ends to any means,
she will 100%
she challenges
the
exile. She challenges the exile's way of thinking. She, like, I think a lot of infamous scenes. Do you remember Nar Shaddaa, when you get off Nar Shaddaa and you have the chance to help the peasant or to basically tell him to fuck off?
I don't remember what the context of that.
Basically, there's just like, okay, it's very simple. There's a peasant who's asking for money, and you can tell him to fuck off, or you can give him money.
Oh, I remember this conversation. I remember
and
that.
It doesn't matter what you pick. She scolds you for it, and a lot of people were kind of pissed off about that.
But, like, in all honesty,
I don't see why, because she's not disagreeing with anything you chose. She's just asking you to question why you chose it.
Well, here's the thing about Kreia's, like, thought process, which I do enjoy. Like, it's the aspect of, hey, what happens if you give this guy 5 credits? What do you mean? He just now it's the definition of how long you think on it. Because if you think of it real fast, like, okay, I give him 5 credits, he'll go buy something. It's like, no, you give him 5 credits. Turns out he needed 5 more credits in order to figure out this exchange deal to get a blaster weapon. And it turns out that particular blaster weapon was used for a heist on a particular gem that we needed to get the entire time. And we could have easily just walked in and grabbed it if you didn't give him that 5 credits. It's like, the probability of that happening is so low, but it's already there.
Or you can think of it the complete opposite way. What if you tell this person to fuck off, and then for some reason they hold resentment against you? Then they find and ask another person for those 5 credits, and the exact same outcome happens, except for this time, when you go to get to that item, they have resentment towards you, and it offers more conflict.
Or what if you tell them to fuck off, and they fuck off and reevaluate their life? Like, it's the idea of
there's so many different outcomes. You have to think before you do something.
There's a lot of outcomes, but you go to the one that's probably the most likely to happen versus the most unlikely ones to happen. And yes, you do put yourself in those situations, but it's more or less of, you think of the percentages of what may or may not actually happen. And once, like I said, it's not something that gets thought out loud, because that's stupid. Why would you ever say something like that out loud? That's where Kreia comes in. And there are moments you actually want to tell her to shut up.
But I feel like that's a good thing, though. And not necessarily that you want to tell her to shut up. It's that because you want to tell her to shut up, she's making you think.
But it's also the point of, like, it's not going to get that bad yet, or it won't get that bad. And now it would be different if she actively did things to make it get that bad. That's a different story, but she doesn't.
Yeah, well, that also goes into how old.
Well, except with her apprentices.
The game and the funding.
Except with her apprentice. That's a different,
apprentices.
Yeah, that's a whole bag of worms she kind of undid herself there, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Do you remember the Darth Scion conversation before you go fight Kreia at all?
Is this when he's dying or before you fight him?
No, it's well, kind of the entire conversation because you fight him and he tells you that you should not go fight Kreia. You should not go because she will ruin you. She will take you and she will corrupt you, or she will turn you into essentially what she wants, right? And you're the entire time, like if you choose light side, you can if you choose the dark side, you can be like, hey, fuck you, I want to fight you, fuck off. I'm stronger than Kreia, it's fine. But if you choose the light side, you can try. Granted, I chose that this character specifically had 0 points in persuade, so I couldn't do it. But you can attempt to persuade him to letting go of the force, which is exactly what Kreia
I remember that option.
Essentially kind of wants.
I actually remember that option.
And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Darth Nihilus and the Exile. Kreia finds soul in the Exile because she let go of the force, like I was saying earlier. But if Scion lets go of the force, he dies, because that's all that's holding him together is his rage and the dark side, right?
I saw that.
There you go. Oh, do you want to play something else, by the way? This is getting kind of boring.
What are we going to play, though? That's the thing.
That's a good question.
Because we need something that won't divert our focus too much.
True? I farted.
Yeah, of course you did.
You know, we can always just play the better Borderlands game.
Which one? There's a lot of better ones.
My point exactly.
Hell, I'd rather replay Tales over. At least I could laugh at that and actually have a good time.
Fair. You want to play Vermintide?
You think that might require a lot of focus?
Not wrong.
Like, I'm trying to think of something that won't diverge us too much.
Yeah, well, what time is it? How long have you been doing this recording session for?
We're currently at 1 minute 40 sec. I mean, 1 hour 40 minutes.
Gotcha. Are you gonna chop this up, and is this all just gonna be one long conversation?
Oh, there's gonna be one long one.
Gotcha. I don't know. You want to finish up your thoughts? Because that's gonna be a 2-hour video. That's gonna be fucking long as shit.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. These things are. I could cut it. I could cut it up into sections depending on how long it goes. My rule is like usually like 2 hour 30 minutes is solid. But if it gets longer, I'm perfectly fine just leaving it like that.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm fine with either one. Just if you actually wanted to play something or do something different, it doesn't matter to me. Skate's getting kind of boring.
Yeah, let's see.
Just when you're talking though. But like when you're actually focusing on it, it's fun.
Yeah. Let me think.
You could always take it around a Warframe, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling it.
Neither am I, to be honest. I'm trying to think of what else we got that's simple. It doesn't take much thought.
Most of them are single-player games.
That's the thing. Like, nothing chill that we have, to be honest.
No. What's the chillest game that I have? I'm actually looking at it right now.
Chillest game. Dude, I tried that single player. Dude, it's impossible. Like, your brain stops because you have to control 2 different people.
That's... Ew.
Like, you gotta switch between them, and like your brain stops because you're like, wait, what?
Oh my... That's gross. Could you... I haven't played that. Do you want to try Dead Island? We have not touched that in a long time.
I'm fine with that. That's gonna be numbness to the brain. Is it? Because
I mean, to be fair, we can just we don't even have to do missions. We can just dick around and run around.
That thing has Borderlands 1 issues though. That's the thing. I can't just do that with that game because it has Borderlands 1's. Certain segments kind of are certain levels.
Yeah, that's true. I'm loading into it just to see what it's like because I don't remember. I don't remember much of it.
What else?
I might end up wanting to just wrap this up and actually play something though. At least a conversation.
I'm fine with that. I mean, we still got Halo we have to do.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to do it tomorrow or tonight?
What time is it?
It is 12:38.
Yeah, that might be a tomorrow thing.
We're almost done with it, though, to be fair.
True, but I still gotta get up early in the morning.
Gotcha. No worries, man. Trying to see what time I work on Saturday. One sec.
Let me see here.
Oh. I
Mhm.
never finished my thought on Revan. Let me finish that really quick.
Yeah, the light side Revan. Go ahead.
Well, not necessarily even light side. Granted, fuck that light side ending because that's so stupid. Anyway,
Yeah, like I don't.
Revan to me embodies both sides.
Mhm.
And not just because he lived in both of them, but if you do kind of play the dark side route, or if you even like if you read what happens after the game,
Mhm.
not even after the game, is it after? Because I know I'm trying to think of the online game because he does make appearances in the online game. He is a small focal point, but I never actually played it. It's just going off of like internet YouTube knowledge. Yeah, fuck it, don't matter. Don't worry about it. It'll come to me if it comes to me.
Yeah, what was I saying before? I believe. Shoot. Yeah, I lost track.
Oh,
Mhm.
Friday, which is today.
Thursday.
Yeah, I don't have to work
Mhm.
Saturday in the morning. I have to close. So if you want to do Halo Friday night after work, because I get off like 10:30, that's totally fine with me.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Google. But yeah, I think well, like just reading through both philosophies. Just I read like a little bit of the Book of Sith. I'm trying. I think I'm gonna finish the Jedi one first.
Let me know when you
There's
start hearing
no.
chanting and talking when you fall asleep.
Okay, do you remember Atreus, the one that's on Telos? She's essentially like the Jedi who surrounds herself with all the white chicks.
Yeah.
Okay, you know she's a Sith, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember going to confront her in her little office or in her little meditation chamber?
I don't remember the conversation that happened. I just know that she's super salty.
Okay.
I remember that very specifically.
So, it's not even that. Well, basically what happens is you walk in and like you're talking to her and you're like, "Yo, you're not a Jedi anymore. You're a fucking Sith, bro. You don't even see what you're doing to yourself." And like out of nowhere, for no explicable fucking reason, she's just surrounded by Sith holocrons, which makes sense because that's what she was kind of like. That's what she was studying.
Mm-hmm.
But they just start hissing, and the subtext just says Sith holocron hisses, and it's not important to the conversation at all. It just happens, and it happens like 5 different times. I don't know why it does that. I know it's really random, but like I don't know why that Sith, like all those Sith holocrons were just hissing. Like it was like that's what it sounded like. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, no, like Sith love having that chanting in the background. Meanwhile, Jedi's love having that their ancestors in the back.
Yeah. Fucking ancestors. Alright, one second. I'm gonna listen to a voicemail really quick.
Gotcha.
Okay, good. Sorry.
But no, it's one of these where like if they just show, like literally, if they treated it more like the Force is a power, lightsabers are a weapon, and you are just a person.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a more interesting dynamic. Because like my rule is that like if they can convince me to side with them, that's a different story. Or if I'm siding with them just to get what I want.
Yeah.
Like if I was a rogue and the Jedi Temple had an item I needed to pawn off, yes, I'd fake being a Jedi, but if they actually have some decent points, I'll agree with them on it. I won't join them.
But you do at least agree.
And I'll get what I need and I'll leave. That doesn't make me a Sith for doing that. But it doesn't make me a Jedi.
It just, you're using... You're trying to survive in a world. That is what you're doing.
And
you're not choosing a side. You're just surviving.
The Star Wars universe, a majority
Everything
of
has
it
to be a side.
Is survival. Is a majority of it if you're not in the rich like planets. Like if you actually think about it, a majority of it is either mass metropolitan city where everyone's trying to survive, or run down like shanty towns where everyone's trying to survive. Like,
You're not wrong.
or
Well,
like,
it's
or you're on a ship and you're a soldier, in which case you're trying to survive.
just to finish the Star Wars topic before we actually, I guess, probably end this video.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going just off the original trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no Legends lore. Don't think about anything. Just that original trilogy. You have like 3 different Force users, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 technically. You have Yoda, Ben, Vader, Sidious. I don't think they mentioned anyone else,
Okay.
right? If you take that at the end of 6, all that the Jedi have is Luke, and whatever Luke learned in the 5 or 6 years that he was a Jedi, and whatever he thinks being a Jedi means. And he was not a Jedi in the traditional sense. He became a Jedi at like 19 years old. I think no, it was 19 or 18, something like that.
Basically,
So,
literally, they usually grab you as a child.
yes, and that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a cult,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's a
They
cult.
grab you as a child to indoctrinate you into their beliefs. Sith do the same thing.
But their usual excuse is, if I don't grab you, then the other side
The
will
other one
grab
will.
you. But the thing I've also realized that Fallen Order also helped me kind of emphasize on, they don't exactly know where kids are with the Force.
No?
Sure, the
No, they
Force
don't.
could lead them in a direction.
But they don't know specifically.
Exactly. That's the
The
thing
only-
about it.
I don't want to jump off my point for a second, but
Mhm.
the only one that really knew, I think, in terms of like, I can sense someone strong in the Force. Oh shit! It's actually Starkiller. It's not your dad. Oh god. That's the only instance I can really think of.
Yeah. All right. Back to your point though about the trilogy.
So at the end of that, you have basically you have the Jedi, which is Luke. But at that point, he already had a personality. He already had his worldviews. He was 19 years old.
He had his worldviews, but it depends on which stage, and I'm assuming you mean end stage of the trilogy.
I do mean the end of the trilogy, like after the Sith are just quote unquote destroyed, and after Luke is the last remaining known Force user, or at least you know what I mean.
Known Jedi Force user, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
After that, both ways of life are completely, unless you like actually go delving into like the past, which those movies don't do. So I'm just going if we're basing off that, you're assuming there isn't that much. I feel like that would have been a way better way to continue the series in terms of what me and you were talking about. Of you're a person, you have the ability to use this power called the Force. Do what you want with it. You don't have to follow a code. Does that kind of make sense?
Kinda, yes and no to it, because like the idea between like the right off the bat, it starts with like a galaxy far, far away. So there are like large expanses of different planets and such. And 9 times out of 10, it wouldn't have centered itself too heavily around the two factions. Even if their philosophies have changed as it would have kept going on. Because by the end of it, the deal is that you kind of realize that, like, yes, it is centered around the Skywalker family, a group of, let's just go with Force users at this point, because I hate
that, but yes.
They are a group of Force users, and they have a big influence on this portion of the galaxy. But like you said, even if we weren't to consider the other lore, it already is known that there are other means of Force, and it will find a way to create Force users that aren't centered around this particular one at the moment. Doesn't mean they'll be Jedi, does not mean they'll be Sith, but they'll have
it
an
just
impact.
means they'll be sensitive in the Force and they can make their own path.
Now here's the thing: if they were to go with the Professor X school of grabbing people, as in their powers are unstable if they don't know how to use it. If they're
Which
not,
they never do.
which a majority never do, but that doesn't mean that they have to be a Jedi or Sith to teach you how to use the Force, because it's not about manipulating or making the Force flow through you. It's just about being able to maintain it. Like, you don't have to have it be a weapon. You do not have to have it be a healing force. It literally, if you can maintain yourself with the Force, you're set. Like, you don't have to learn every single bit.
This is kind of the one point, the good takeaway I can kind of take from the Jedi is they have the 3 pillars that they kind of base their I don't want to fuck this up. Let me just pull out this book really quick. They have their essentially the 3 pillars of what they base their organization on. I'm calling them an organization because they are.
You mean what did Klaus call it? An alternative spiritual group.
Spiritual community. It's not a cult. It's an alternative spiritual community. Okay, so you have the 3 pillars of the Jedi, and essentially what that is the Force, knowledge, and self-discipline. Which one of, just in your own words, or I guess in your own opinion, which one of those is the most important? Just
knowledge.
Not to the Jedi, just as a whole.
Knowledge.
Exactly. Knowledge. So, knowledge should be the only thing that you should have to really concern yourself when you're a Force user. If you have the knowledge to use the Force, but you never do, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. You were making that decision on your own.
Like, the thing about the Force and why it's such a god tier concept is because technically it cannot be described properly.
No.
Because it's a god tier concept that they made, in all honesty, which is like one genius.
They essentially made a physical way for humans to communicate with God without calling it God.
No. The way I put it is they made a plot device that will always be a plot device for an excuse for more plot devices.
God, you're not wrong.
That's all the Force is. It's just a mass plot device that cannot be like destroyed. It can be destroyed. It can be maintained. It can be controlled. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can make you fly through space for all I care.
Wait. I'm sorry. Just. Have I ever showed you the edit of episode 8 where they have Carrie Fisher like fly through space and then destroy all the ships?
Yes, you told me about this. You showed me that. I was dying.
Okay. Just for anyone who doesn't have context, look up Fact Fiend and
I love that video.
Type in I don't remember the video specifically. You can find it. Just type in Fact Fiend Star Wars and then look around one that talks around episode 8. And it's the best fucking edit you'll ever fucking see.
Like,
you're welcome.
The thing is, if the Force had rules, this entire conversation would be a lot easier. But it doesn't. It has the rules that are made by the people that decide to use them to a degree and write them down.
But question though, if the Force had rules as a fiction, I feel like that would really, I feel like kind of why people were really pissed off at the midi-chlorian concept is because it gave...
That wasn't a rule. That was not a rule. That's something different.
No.
That's Force backstory. See,
but doesn't that kind of make it doesn't that make it less interesting?
It makes it less interesting. I didn't say it would be better. I said it would be easier.
Okay, I just want to make sure we still have the same point there.
I never said it would be better. I said it'd be easier to explain a lot of this stuff through rules. But it's a very open concept that's kind of more or less developed by the people that use it, more than the outside force of people that don't use it.
Because those fuckers don't understand it. Well, I feel like that's also a detriment to the Jedi, I guess. Because the Jedi were always they're supposed to be the protectors of the people. They never let the people know what the hell they don't inform the people on what they are, but they're so massive.
The idea is that they're supposed to be the if you see a Jedi in a let's say you're having a meeting between different factions, and there's a Jedi in the room. Your first thought isn't they're there to protect. Your first thought is something's about to go down. I better prepare. There's not a single instance where a Jedi's in the room. I thought you were
going in a completely different direction.
So, but if you think about it, there's not a single instance where if there's a Jedi in a room full of regular people, your first thought isn't safety.
No, well, no, you're actually 100% correct. But if you actually, just to side rail for a second, do you remember? This is a very obscure thing, so if you don't remember it, I understand. The 5 Kage Summit in Naruto.
Yes, I remember that very specifically because I actually do enjoy that segment.
I love that segment. I didn't like it when I was younger, but I love it now.
It gives you so much lore.
Right. Okay, so you know how the samurai are?
Yeah.
In that part,
which such an interesting faction. They're such an interesting,
right?
But
okay, I feel like if that's how the Jedi were in the world, where they aren't necessarily like you said, when you see a Jedi, you don't have to prepare for the worst. When you see a Jedi, they're a neutral force.
But you know something is going to happen is the problem with it. Like
that shouldn't be the case, which is unfortunate, but it is the truth.
But like
not the truth. That's just the way that things are.
It's not like it's a bad thing, but it's like the definition of whether it be a Sith or a Jedi in the room with us, something violent is going to go down. Whether someone dies or not, uncertain, but 9 times out of 10, something violent is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why like regular people do not like either side and they view them as the same exact thing, because in most contexts, they kind of are.
No, they're just two halves to a coin. That's all they are.
To regular people, they are an annoyance, like, because they don't solve the problem. They solve a problem, and then they call it a day. At least the overarching one. That's why a lot of times in the way Jedis kind of develop themselves is like they don't like it when an individual Jedi does something without the majority knowing.
Which is why, just to again bring it back to Kotor, which is really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's why, and it is what you were saying is exactly why the council was pissed off at the people who went to go fight the Mandalorian Lords.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I fucked that up. Mandalorian Wars, like Revan or like the Exile. But if you're not doing, what am I trying to say?
If it's not approved by the Grand Council, you shouldn't do it.
Do you think that's true?
Do I think it's right? No. Do I think that's true? Yes. All right. The way it handles is Sith will do their own shit.
As they do.
Now, Sith usually do it in the degree of, my master said I have to do it, so I will do it to a teeth. And then whatever happens afterwards, it's whatever I feel. As long as I got the mission done, I can literally have fun. It's like, I was sent to kill Anakin. If I killed Anakin, the rest of you Jedi are kind of just here for, you're not on my list. I would not give any specific instructions. I can do whatever I want to you to get to him. Where Jedis 9 times out of 10 are giving very specific instructions. And I mean very specific. And they are not allowed to go outside of those instructions. And that's the majority of what Ahsoka does in Clone Wars. is follow Anakin's route of going against what he was told. And don't get me wrong.
Did you watch season 6?
I haven't. I want to go through the entire season.
Okay, I haven't. I think I started talking about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really watched much of the Clone Wars.
Like, I will gladly do a binge of it with you.
I watched the movie when it came out. And I watched the movie in theaters when it came out. The one with Jabba the Hutt's kid.
I remember that very specifically.
God, that was such a good fucking movie. It was terrible,
so good.
But it was so good.
But like,
it fucked up all the lore, but it was so good.
Clone Wars has so much good lore, though.
It does. No, I I really do want to go back and watch that entire series. I
But,
know it's
like,
on Disney Plus.
the thing about that series that and it does come to this conversation of like, yeah, like Obi-Wan, yes, he'll follow the council, but if you feel like something off, he will like, if you feel like something is wrong, he'll investigate it and then act. Anakin, if you feel like something off, he'll act. Ahsoka tries to do the betterment of both because technically she gets taught from both of them.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think that kind of goes into okay, so obviously Anakin fell to the dark side and he was always kind of inherently dark. Like
the further
at least a shade or two darker than the rest.
the
you know what I
further
mean?
that show goes, the more you kind of see Anakin's decisions get more and more like hasty. And
Yes. I think that also like just
mhm.
that show does such a really good job, just from what I've seen,
Oh, and sorry.
on depicting Anakin.
Also, Palpatine manipulation as well, because he does that so hard. Like,
Well,
sorry,
that's kind of like
I had to put that in there too.
I know that we both grew up with the prequels when we were kids, so like I'll always have a soft spot for them. And I think Episode 3 is the best of the three, which
Yeah, no,
is
it
an
is.
opinion, but I feel like it's kind of objectively the
God,
best.
I still enjoy Grievous so much though. Like, I enjoy his character
He's so
because
he's so stupid. But
he's
he's so
stupid,
good.
but like if you ever encounter him, you don't want to. Like, you do not want to
Exactly.
actively fight him.
No. Do you remember the?
Do you remember the cartoon?
Are you talking about the silent one?
Yeah, the
When those
one,
made like 2005 or 6.
yeah, real blocky design.
Yes.
Grievous
Where like
is
they
so-
essentially made Grievous like a fucking horror villain,
But he is a horror villain. That's the thing.
which is fantastic.
Because the one,
Which is kind of weird because in Clone Wars he's kind of a bumbling jackass.
oh yeah, 100%. But I love the fact that how do you show how terrible of like how horrifying he is? He has a trophy room full of lightsaber kills.
Did you know that Dooku actually despises that?
Yes.
Good.
But like it's both a reward and kind of a message at the same time of like, yeah, no, I have killed multiple Jedi, Sith as well, because he has killed Sith. That's like 100%. And it's one of
Has
the
he?
things, yeah, he has.
Ooh,
I don't remember specifically. Like, it's no one specific. I just know he killed Sith.
there shouldn't be that many though. That's the thing.
There shouldn't be. You're right. There shouldn't be, and there isn't.
Well, okay. So in terms of like, not necessarily Sith in general, but like people who've used the dark side during
Yeah.
the era of the Clone Wars,
Basically,
you have Sidious, you have Dooku,
Sorry.
Maul.
not
Ventress.
Sith, but like the crappy apprentices that really don't make it.
Oh, so the Inquisitors.
Like, for example, Dooku's killed a lot of apprentices over Palpatine's orders.
Really?
Yes, Ventress is the only one that's lasted this long, and her story arc gets really interesting because she, like
I have actually explicitly read on her story arc.
yeah.
I love her so much. She's fantastic.
But yeah, so
Who does she end up with canonically?
I don't remember by the end. Like, it's something I have to literally rewatch that entire show because there's so many. There's like so many like story arcs that overlap so well with each other.
Yeah. Well, it's an analog, so it doesn't take place canonically, which is really cool.
It solves so much. Like, it's a nice story. You get so much good lore and so much like it makes you care more about the characters. Like watching that show and then watching episode 3 again hurts a lot more.
I thought you were going in a different direction. Oh no. Well, okay. I guess you haven't seen season 6, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, no.
Because I know that season 6 it does Order 66.
Yes, I know it does that. I know it does the Ahsoka arc versus Darth Maul, which I'm so interested in that fight.
Oh, I forgot that fight happened.
Yeah.
Oh, but also no, it's Rebels that does it. Never mind.
I haven't watched
Sorry.
Rebels. I've heard good things
I haven't
about
watched
it.
Rebels. No, I've heard terrible things about it.
I've heard the vice versa. Then
I've
again,
heard terrible things about it.
like I haven't watched Rebels.
I'll rephrase.
Mhm.
Do you know Cosmonaut Variety Hour?
Yeah, I haven't watched any of his stuff in some time though.
Gotcha. He does not fucking like that show, and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously it was made by the same people who made the Clone Wars, so it still has that mature theme, right?
That art style really does not help it.
But it's a kids show, and not how the Clone Wars was, because the Clone Wars was more of a teen show,
Yeah,
right? Or
Cartoon Network
like,
going through that phase. To be honest,
yeah. So Rebels is more of like a preteen to like toddler show,
and
where
ooh,
the stakes aren't real, stakes don't matter, and the only cool thing that happened was about a 5-second fight between Kenobi and Maul.
so about like the same new trilogy we got basically,
Yeah, basically exactly that.
but there's no lightsaber fight that was cool.
No. Actually, there was one.
When
The one you haven't watched.
I'm fine with that.
Well, it actually was pretty cool because they go back to where you saw 8, right?
Yeah.
Do they go to the... No, they don't. I apologize. They go to...
Also, like, I know that Palpatine goes to a planet. One part of me was really hoping it was Corbin. I was really hoping that.
I'm sorry. I just want to just want to say this out of context. Palpatine had a sex yacht.
I'm fine with that. Like, I don't need context. I'm just fine with that. That's better than whatever the movies can provide me.
But do you want to know what happened to that sex yacht?
It got destroyed by lightning.
No. Worse. Can you think of anything worse than that?
Orgy?
It was made into Phasma's armor.
So the orgy sex.
The awesome Palpatine wrinkly old sex yacht was turned into bullshit. Nothing. Yes.
Which, don't get me started on that, like, god awful choice of a character.
I fucking hate that.
Who decided to make another Boba Fett and said this will be cool?
Man, talk shit about the prequels all you want. At least it tried.
That was so awful.
That entire waste. Like, okay, the new trilogy has some really cool ideas. They're all executed so fucking poorly.
It is like the definition of poor execution. Ugh.
Let me go back to what I was saying about the only cool lightsaber fight.
Yeah, what was that? Because I don't remember two lightsabers in that entire film.
God damn it.
Yeah, no. Continue. Tell me what the cool lightsaber fight was, even though there's only 2 lightsabers in this entire goddamn film. In that horrible choreographed fight scene in Snoke's lair.
Fair, in the original trilogy, there were only 3.
I mean, to be fair, it was a double-bladed lightsaber, and they all knew how to use a lightsaber. To be fair, they didn't have...
Wait, what are you talking about?
Wait, you said the original trilogy, right? Or the,
4, 5, 6.
Alright, 4, 5, 6. Sorry.
There's only 3 of them.
Never mind. Yeah, no, I'm still right. They were all trained on how to use a lightsaber. Because Obi-Wan trained Luke on the ship.
Oh, yeah. But there's still only 3 lightsabers.
I'm fine with that.
Fair enough. We did get episode 5.
And they're all trained, and it had good story arcs.
They basically go to the ruins of the second Death Star.
The second
or
the third one that was the planet one?
No, the second one. The one that blew up in 6. They go to
okay.
I think it's Endor. It might be. Yeah, I think it's Endor.
Wait, hold on. How is that not scrapped for resources?
Most of it is. There's small sections of it aren't.
I don't believe that. That's like a gold mine.
I agree. Let me finish. So, it basically it's all because it's all in the ocean. Most of it's all in the ocean at this point. There's just a very few pieces that aren't. And Rey and Finn go to the throne room, Sidious's throne room. Kylo comes with them, or not comes with, he comes after them, and her and Kylo, god damn it, Rey and Kylo fight, but like they actually use the Force and move around. Big fucking idea, right? Oh my god.
Wait,
So,
are you telling me the Force can actually manipulate one's movement to be superhuman?
oh my god, I know, right? It's like a fucking miracle.
It's almost like you can watch any Kotor online cinematic, and they do that in the first 5 seconds.
I know.
God, I hate the new trilogy so much. That's the highlight of this entire trilogy.
Anyway,
God
let me
damn.
finish. Let me fucking finish. So,
Go ahead.
picture like the worst sea you could kind of imagine in terms of like super high fucking tides, right?
So Shark
So
Boy
they're
Lava
fighting
Girl.
on
Got it.
Exactly. So they're fighting on like I don't know. It kind of reminds me of episode 3, but not exactly. Or they're
Instead
know the
of lava,
walkway-
it's crappy water.
you got it.
So they just
So like they're
copy.
just jumping around and they're fighting that way, but it ends. It's a good fight, but it ends fucking stupidly, from what I can remember. No, they're right.
How?
Did you know that movie? Did you know that that movie has 4? What's the word? Death fake outs.
No.
Yeah, that episode 9 has 4. Four
Why? Why would
Actually,
you have?
I'm sorry. I could be miscounting. These are just the ones I remember, and I haven't seen this movie since it released in theaters. Do you want me to go through them with you?
Oh God. Hold on. Let me just. So, are you telling me that after the glorious second death fake out of the episode 8?
Yeah.
And the Luke fake out hologram, they decided
Luke fake out hologram.
Sorry, using the Force projection as a fake out, which I'm fine with.
I don't
But
think that's a fake out. That was just him using the Force. Like I mean, like actual like this person was dead.
and then use
Nah,
that for
they're not.
Phasma a third time or fourth time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay,
I don't know
so
how many times
the
she's
first
died.
No, she's dead. She's fucking dead.
They kill her in 8 or is it 9?
No, they killed her in 8. She's fucking dead.
Are you sure now? Because
Yes, I'm sure she's dead. She's not in 9.
I don't remember. I don't even remember them fighting. I'm gonna be honest. I feel bad for not remembering that. Because I feel like it'd be so dumb I'd actually remember
No,
that.
she dies in I don't remember why, but they stuff her in the trash compactor on the planet in 7, right? That
Okay.
blows up, mind you, but she survives somehow. Don't worry about it.
That's what was the dumb crap I remember. I remember that dumb garbage of
They
them.
stuffed her in a trash compactor, but then they blew up the planet, but she survived, so don't worry about it.
With no
So then
scars.
she comes back, right? Finn and Rose are there.
I
BB-8
forgot
is there.
about Rose, that terrible
I
character.
did too. Don't worry.
There's so much bad
I just want you.
shit.
I
Did
just
she
want
die?
you to know. No.
Oh god.
She's in the movie, but she's in 9, but she has little 2 lines.
I want to applaud that. That means that she was such a throwaway character they didn't know what to do with.
She was there. She was important enough to bring back, but they fucked up so hard that they gave her 2 lines.
She had no character arc for them to actually use that they were like, we can't kill her. It'll look like terrible. Are you sure we can't? I'm pretty sure we can't.
Okay, let me go back to the fake outs really quick. Remember when I mentioned that she used her force powers to blow up a ship?
Yeah.
Supposedly, Chewie was on that ship. She got so angry she accidentally used force lightning and blew up the ship. Very sentimental moment. It was the first fake out death of the movie, right?
Okay.
Unbeknownst to the audience, there was an identical ship that she didn't blow up.
Oh
that
my
Chewie was
god.
on.
They pulled a Resident Evil.
No. It gets worse. And this is just number 1. What happens 2 minutes after the death, Chewie walks on screen.
Why? Why
2
even
minutes after they
bother?
killed him. 2 minutes after they killed him. C-3PO was there. R2-D2 was there. They mourned his death. He was on screen. Right? The next... there's more. There is more. I promise.
Oh, God.
And these are just the ones I remember.
Oh,
I think there's more.
I need a minute. Give me a second. That one alone, there are so many writing flaws that have just been broken.
Dude, one day I'm actually gonna force you to watch episode 9 so we can just laugh at it. It's fucking terrible.
I'm down for that. Just if I need to pause it halfway through, just let me pause it. Like,
No, that's fine. You can do whatever you wish.
I just need to process.
The second death. I mean, I'll think about it. Just let me just think about it really quick. I'll let you process.
Okay, so she does the force lightning.
She blows up the ship.
She blows up,
which Chewie was on, but she didn't want Chewie to get taken away. But because she couldn't control her emotions, he accidentally used force lightning, which blew up the ship. Which, if Chewie would have died, that would have been a learning experience for her, right?
There's still so much salt to that. Even if you die, there was so much salt on that.
Yeah, but you know what's worse? A fake out.
I don't know if that's worse. If I've actually... Is it?
Kron?
If Chewie died to emotional female baggage...
Kron. It's worse. Because there's 4 more. Sorry, 3 more. So... Do you remember that fight I was talking about? That's actually the best one of the new ones. Yeah. So Rey stabs Kylo.
Okay. Or what do you mean by stab? Like
with a lightsaber in the gut, gonna die. Okay. Okay. Previously in the movie, they found a worm that was agitated. Or a big fucking snake, or something. Out of nowhere, Rey pulls out the ability to force heal.
I'm still processing. Give me a second.
Okay.
So, they pulled a, where did this power come from? You could have used this the entire time.
Yep. So, after Rey stabs Kylo, after they were fighting for about, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, some shit like that. I don't fucking remember. He heals him, and he was pursuing her to the death, mind you. While he's bleeding out, Han appears, who is dead, by the way, for 2 movies, doesn't say anything, and then Kylo gets healed and then turns to the good side. Death fake out number 2.
Okay,
granted, I will say, in the movie's credit, which is fucking little, that was probably supposed to be Carrie Fisher and Leia, but Carrie Fisher passed, so they couldn't do that.
Okay, so, alright, let me process that one for a second.
Okay, I'll start thinking of the next one, because the next one's even worse.
Because I already know the writing in this is terrible, so I don't have to waste time on this. So, they kill the villain that's been chasing them, basically.
Yep.
And instead of... Actually, no, even killing him is stupid, but... Ah, crap, this is so much stupid... This is a headache just to think about. They decide to have a force...
You're welcome.
Is it
Don't
a
worry.
force ghost? Or is it a...
No,
actual...
it's just a... It's just... They don't... It's not a force ghost. It's just Kylo thinking of his dad. Han appears. Says, "It's okay, son." And then he turns to the good side.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think that's exactly what he said. I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's
but
close
that's essentially
enough.
what he says. Yeah. Do you want to know do you want to know the other one that happens?
At this point, I'm already 2 for 4. Go for it.
Okay, so I don't remember that. This is the one I remember the least. So take it with a grain of salt on the details. But this is essentially what happens. They need to get in C-3PO's memory. By doing so, they wipe his memory. So that's essentially a death.
I actually remember this because someone told me about this.
So basically, they wipe his memory. He dies. For some inexplicable reason, I don't remember why, he gets his memories back.
I bet you it was the love and emotional support of the cast.
They made it sound like as he was about to get his memories wiped, he was like, "Thank you all for being my friends." Boop boop boop. Boop. Oh, hello. I'm C-3PO. He kind of goes into this spiel of like who he is, like he's a guy with memories wiped. And then for some reason he gets his memories back. I think R2-D2 had like a backup copy or some shit like that. I don't remember. So that's fake out death number 3. Do you want to hear about number 4?
Is it Palpatine? Please tell me it's Palpatine.
No.
Please tell me he has one more trick up his sleeve.
No. I'm gonna give you a hint.
Poe, Finn.
It was someone that we already mentioned.
Phasma Part 2? Kylo Part 3?
Yep.
How?
So
why?
So what happened was.
How do people watch this?
This is so fucking stupid. So, I'm sorry. This is so dumb. Actually, I'm sorry. There's 5. There's 5 fake out deaths.
How is there
I forgot another one. So essentially, what happens? If I could be messing up the timeline of things. Kylo and Rey essentially go try and fight Palpatine. Palpatine absorbs. He basically does like, you know in Kotor how basically he like you can absorb someone's health.
Yes, he pulled a Malik.
Yeah, he basically does that, but like he just kind of pulls the Force out with them as well. So he ends up like he basically killed.
Oh, did it mess up? Can you hear me? Or did his controller die? I'm assuming his controller died. Okay.
You back?
Yep.
Sorry, I dropped my controller in the middle of that, my bad.
No, that was your controller going like, this is stupid. I need a minute to process.
Do you want to know the worst part?
What?
I'm using my Minecraft pick controller, so you're right.
Just...
Okay, so they go to fight Palpatine, right?
Okay. Just go for it.
And he's draining their lives. So, Rey falls down unconscious. She's basically dying. And she hears all the Force ghosts from all the Jedi from previous. So she hears like Mace Windu, she hears Ahsoka, Anakin, Ben, Luke, all of them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's dying. Like, she's going to die. Kylo was thrown off a ledge. Now, do you think he was actually thrown off a ledge?
Now,
no, of course he wasn't.
Who
of course
threw him off a ledge at this point?
Palpatine. It was like he used the Force. I don't fucking remember.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the fact. I'm just thinking of frail old Palpatine just throwing Kylo off. I know he used the Force, but I first thought it was just Palpatine.
So this is where this gets kind of stupid. So Rey is going to die. Kylo is implied to be dead by throwing off a ledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the scene. And then Palpatine's doing. Do you remember? Did you ever see, like Palpatine doing the giant sky laser lightning bullshit?
Yes, I had so many questions about that.
Okay, so he's basically doing that. He's basically doing that this entire time.
Which hold on, before that we continue. I know Starkiller's not canon, but even I have some problems with that.
Thank you.
Like, I know he's not canon.
At this point, I just fucking wish he was. Anyway.
Oof. Oh, that's so dumb.
So Rey's on the ground dying. All the Jedi are talking to her, or something like that. That happens, but I don't know if this is specifically when. Kylo, who's been a dark side user this entire fucking time, like the entire like most of the movie, like the entire trilogy, like until like the last 30 minutes of the movie. Kylo jumps off the ledge, uses the same, like the force healing ability that she used to save him earlier in the movie, heals her, and then Palpatine kills him, so he had 2 fake-out deaths, which resulted in an actual death. Right?
Just...
And then Rey was on the ground dying, so that was a fake-out death. But then Kylo saved her. And then but Palpatine was like... Okay, so Palpatine had the ability to drain their force, right?
But didn't?
But apparently... The fucking movie's terrible. Sorry. Okay. Now that I've explained the about 5 plot points of that movie, can you understand why I kind of like 8 a little bit?
No, I can't. But like,
I didn't say a lot. I said a little.
let me dial this back and put it in the best way possible. This entire thing you have just told me makes every episode worse. It doesn't make it better. Does it make it bearable?
No. Oh, God, no.
No,
It makes it fucking terrible.
God. It makes it even worse.
Have you ever like heard of the pacing of the first half of that movie?
No.
Okay, so for episode 9, okay, so you know how episode 8 was like ridiculed, everyone fucking hated it, right? Like
Yes.
half of them hated it, half of them fucking liked it.
100%.
Basically, so you had 7, which did its own thing, which was essentially just was a New Hope. You had 8, which tried being its own thing, it failed and succeeded in some parts, and just it was a half and half. It was a toss-up, right? 9 was essentially rewriting everything in the first 30 minutes of 9. Essentially retconned everything about 8 that the people complained about, and that was the first 30 minutes. That was entirely essentially what that was.
That is the definition.
Which is why I really want you to watch 9. And why I am not gonna...
No, you're gonna be there with me.
Alone. No, you're not gonna be alone. Because I'll be there with you. But fuck, I need you to watch 9 so we can shit on this together. And then we'll just watch... And then we'll watch Mandalorian, and then we'll watch episode 6 of Clone Wars, and we'll be fine. And we can fucking disregard this entire franchise.
Okay. Can I make a bargain here? After we watch episode 9, can we immediately just find and somehow watch the Family Guy one instead? For a palate cleanser.
Deal. Do you want to wait? No. I haven't seen the entire, Family Guy, I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen Blue Harvest, and I've only seen episode 5.
No, we're gonna watch all of it then, because it's a fun ride.
Okay. Good. I've not seen them. Have I seen 5? No. I've actually only seen 4 for Family Guy. I haven't seen 5, 6, 7.
And they only do 4, 5, 6. They don't go any more than that.
4, 5, 6. Gotcha. I have not. I don't think I've seen them then.
Ooh, so okay. I have a headache from that stupid garbage. Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've had 3 alcoholic drinks tonight, and that conversation is what's making my head hurt.
How did you watch that?
Kron, I'm a big Star Wars fan. That is the only reason I watched it.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And, for the record, you know what's on my forearms. I have to live with that. And I got those before episode 9.
I mean, as long as Ray doesn't say it, I think you're fine.
Actually, let me look at when episode 9 came out, because I actually may have gotten them right around the time they did come out. So.
As a reminder of what his faith actually really is.
Oh, wait, it came out. Oh, yeah. That's what happened. I remember now.
Yes.
So I got my the first one I got was the Through Victory My Chains Are Broken. I got that one on March.
Mm-hmm.
No. Sorry, I got Through Victory My Chains Are Broken, which was the first one. I got that one on December 12th of 2019. Episode 9 released on December 20th.
Oh.
I don't know if, which is also my birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oof. I still have a headache.
I think I'm gonna go to bed now.
You know what? This has been a fun recording session.
I'm sorry, everyone.
I'm gonna hate watching that movie. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna hate. You know what, Karan? At the very least, we can laugh at it and hate on it together.
Oh god.
It's still not gonna make it better, but at least we could do it.
I'll be this way. As long as I can laugh at it, that'll be more bearable. If I can't even laugh, like, if I can't make fun of it as I'm watching it, that might actually be torture.
I think the only reason we're gonna have fun watching that movie is because we'll be doing it together. If you have to watch it by yourself, and I would never recommend you do that.
Oh, I don't have the mentality.
Because even I saw it in theaters, and I only saw it once. Sorry, I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
I see. You remember
watching it. It's just so fucking... Dude. And then, like, okay, I didn't even talk about Finn.
You don't need to talk about any character. There's no character development, so it doesn't matter.
I didn't even talk about Finn. Do you know what they do with him?
Nothing.
Worse. Okay, so he...
Does he yell Ray as just as much?
No, eventually what happens is... After the whole Rose thing, and everyone got pissed off at Rose...
Right.
They didn't have anything to do with him, right? So... How everyone was pushing for Finn and Poe to be a relationship...
Which 100% down for... But, you know...
I'd be fine with it. But you know what? Can't have fucking homosexuals in our Star Wars, because fuck those guys.
No. Apparently. No. Like Jedis and Sith, they have one rule, no homosexual.
God damn it. So, Finn and Poe was never gonna happen. Finn and Rose, the fan base hated. I get it. It wasn't fucking good.
It's almost like they put a relationship in there with no context.
For no reason.
Don't get me wrong. Man wants to get laid, perfectly fine with that. But don't make it an actual relationship, because there was nothing there.
And then, while they're on the planet with the, while Rey is going to try and find and fighting Kylo on the Death Star, like, they're on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
Finn finds another group of stormtroopers who defected. And there's another female interest.
Is she hot?
Doesn't fucking go anywhere. Yeah, she's kind of hot. But that doesn't go anywhere at all.
Sorry,
so
that's
the
my
entire
one
time,
thing.
so the final battle basically takes place on a bunch of different Star Destroyers. Star Destroyers. Basically, for some reason, I'm just gonna fucking spoil the fucking movie because it's not even a spoiler. Because fuck that movie. Palpatine somehow made like 100 to like 300 Star Destroyers. I don't know how. Don't worry about it. They didn't fucking explain it. I'm not gonna fucking worry about it.
Okay.
Finn is just on one of them for some reason, and he is there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you expected me to continue that, but that's it.
Okay. Repeat
So
that one
he
more
finds
time.
another person. Finn finds another person and doesn't get laid again, and then is in the movie on a ship, on the outside of a ship, and that's it. Oh, and that ship was hit by force lightning, and no one died.
You mean there was not another false alarm?
I'm not going to question that, but I don't understand.
There wasn't a, oh no, he's dead.
Oh, no. See, they already did that, like, I don't know, 5 times.
But it's not enough.
No, it's not. Wait. Hold up, 1 second. I need to look this up.
That's not a good sign when you say that.
And why?
What?
Why is that a bad sign? When does he die? I'm trying to remember if he dies in this one or if he dies in the other one. I don't remember.
The answer is yes. Who dies?
1 second. I'm 1 second. Okay, never mind. Admiral Akbar does die in 8. My bad.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
I forgot. I wasn't sure if he died in 9 or 8, but he died. When when Leia does like the weird force thing in 8.
Yeah.
Everyone on that bridge died. Admiral Akbar was on that bridge.
The real champion.
It's a trap. Get it because he died.
What is this? Like, this trilogy will go down in history as like the definition.
This is probably. This is how not to do movies.
I don't even know what to call it.
It's not good. Actually, no. There actually is kind of a word for, or not a word, but there's like a. This is what happens when you take a franchise and A, you don't plan it out, and then B, rely solely on the franchise's popularity. Kind of like Halo.
Ooh, but this is worse. This is much worse.
No, this is definitely way fucking worse. But this is what happens. This is... Disney thought, Star Wars makes money. Let's just make a couple Star Wars movies.
I mean, it should work, right?
No, the worst fucking me. Okay, I would. This is not going to shock anyone listening. Are you still recording?
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
This is not going to shock anyone listening. I would much rather watch The Room 3 times than watch a single one of those movies.
At least The Room I can enjoy.
Exactly my fucking point.
Like, okay, the thing about this new Star Wars trilogy, and I will say this, everyone gave the first one a pass.
Everyone gave the first one a pass because it was A New Hope.
And it was like, okay, everyone gave it a pass. It was A New Hope, basically. We haven't had a Star Wars movie in years. It's like, okay, Disney played it safe with the first one. Perfectly fine.
You know what? And it worked.
Don't get me wrong. I laughed. There were some good jokes in that I laughed at.
Yeah, there were some genuinely funny moments. The story was...
There were some moments I actually went like, okay, you're really milking the Harrison Ford death right now. I'm not the only one that thought that was super long.
Well, it took a while. But at the same time, okay, Kylo, to me, is the only actual good part of that entire trilogy. And I say good loosely.
Yeah.
But he's the only one that has a cohesive story.
I feel like our options are high anyway.
This is true. But if Kylo was not in that franchise, or just if Kylo wasn't in there, and it was just some random schmuck, I would have not watched it. I'm sorry. Like, he was the only person that actually kept me watching, even though if I didn't know it at the time.
My first thought is, okay, well, looks like Jedis are disassembled, so they're not interesting anymore. How's the Sith doing right now, though? Like,
Okay, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the idea of... Okay, this kind of... Oh, do you remember when we were talking about what would happen if, at the end of episode 6, because both like histories are essentially out the window. There's no more Jedi. There's no more Sith. The only one to pass on knowledge is Luke.
Right.
So, Kylo, just in terms of episode 7, everyone was kind of pissed off that he was a whiny teenage angsty bitch, right?
Right.
But doesn't that kind of make sense? Isn't that kind of what the dark side kind of allures people to be? Especially because he doesn't have a teacher. He has no one to teach him the dark side.
That's
like,
the thing about why I hate
being an
the freaking
angsty teenager because he's an angsty teenager.
Don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. I'm fine with being an angsty teenager. I do not give a crap about that. My problem lies. It's been years. How did you fuck up?
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying.
Resistance is garbage.
Maybe like
Jedi Academy is non-existent.
One point I would like to make that was like very critical of just one episode. I remember this very specifically when episode 7 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Republic beats the Emperor. New era of peace. Episode 7 starts. The Sith are attacking. Where is the Republic?
Now, if you would have said Outer Rim, I'd be like, okay.
That makes sense because they're trying to establish worlds.
And it takes time. I'm fine with that if they said we started with the Inner Rim and then we're trying to work our way out to try to change things up. It takes time. Yeah. We can't save everyone. Would have been a great introduction to some new Jedi in the beginning, though. They would have died to Kylo, but it would have been a great introduction.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Silly me. Do you remember in episode 7 when they introduced the Knights of Ren?
If I say no...
That's fine. Do you remember the shot of Kylo and he has like those 4 or 5 people around him in the flashback and they never elaborate on them ever again?
Nope.
I'm gonna send you a picture.
Send me a picture of this, because I don't remember any of this. Which kind of shows...
Knights of... Yep, you're actually proving my point. Thank you.
They don't even bother.
I'm trying to find the original. This one. Here, this is the original shot. Download image. I'm sending it in Snapchat.
Alright. I need to see this, cause...
Alright, so it's that specific scene. It's like a flashback of Kylo doing some Kylo things. I don't remember what he was doing. But those guys are the Knights of Ren, right?
Yeah, no, I don't remember this.
Okay, so they were in a flashback, but they were never elaborated on at fucking all. And they were never in 8 at all. They weren't in them. They just were fucking forgot about. They were brought back at 9. Do you want to know how they were brought back?
Did they a one-off death?
Yup.
Oh god.
So after Kylo talks to his dad, after his fight with Rey, he turns to the light and he goes to try and fight Palpatine. For some explicable, unknown fuck-butt reason, he also lost his lightsaber. He threw his lightsaber away, or Rey did, so he doesn't have a lightsaber anymore. Like Kylo doesn't have anything. All he has is a blaster.
Okay.
And do you remember from episode 8? Do you remember how like Kylo and Rey could like pass possessions to each other through the Force?
If I say no,
that's fine. Essentially, like.
Hold on one sec before you continue that. Hold on one sec. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. I'll just die. It's fine.
Okay, so I remember the telekinesis and speaking to people through the
Okay.
force. I don't remember possession.
No, not possession, but they can pass things to each other.
Nope, don't remember that.
Okay, that's fine. Essentially what happens is once he turns to the light, Rey can sense that he's there. Well, like Rey is confronting Palpatine, Kylo's trying to make it to him, but Kylo doesn't have a lightsaber.
Okay.
Rey puts the lightsaber behind her head and then shows her hand, and there's no lightsaber. Kylo does the same thing as he's surrounded by the Knights of Ren. For some reason, they're helping Palpatine
Okay.
on this weird remote Outer Rim planet, and they just show up out of nowhere. And Kylo goes, "Oh, okay, guess we're fighting now." They do the thing where, like, he puts his hand behind his head, and he has a lightsaber,
Okay.
and then he kills him, and that's it.
What? Okay. So you know how in Dragon Ball Z they say power levels are stupid. At least they
No,
tried.
Sorry. I'm sorry. If you're gonna say it right, say it fucking right. Power levels are bullshit.
I have so many questions. I have like
No, at least they tried. At least Toriyama tried.
I want to go into that writing room and see what the executive said.
Well, problem is, okay, not the problem. Every major thing and flaw that I find with that trilogy, you can tell that it was an executive decision made by someone who doesn't give a flying fuck about Star Wars.
It's just that no one's that. No one other than a executive, like the flaws are too obvious.
Yes, and that's
That's
why
the thing.
that's why the trilogy failed. Is it? No matter if it was okay, doesn't matter if the script was made by someone who loved Star Wars. Doesn't matter how much love was put into that script. Doesn't matter how much the actors loved Star Wars, if they did or if they didn't. Executives and people with money are the people who have the final say. That is fucking facts. And
That is.
that's what ruined that trilogy.
It. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, there's so many, like, writing flaws.
Yes, there is. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you ever watch the SNL skit with Kylo?
Yes. Which
Both of them?
Which one?
Both of them.
I remember.
There's one that they released. It was Undercover Boss,
I remember that one.
and they did Undercover Boss 2.
Yes.
Okay, you do remember that one.
I love those.
I love the ending to. I'm sorry, the ending was fucking fabulous. Yeah, I want to be a pilot. So Kylo makes her a pilot. Yeah, I want to be the greatest pilot in the galaxy, just like Luke Skywalker. She fucking dies. He just fucking kills her.
Okay, in all honesty, him being an angsty teen, the one scene that I will say just made me die is just him bashing the table with his lightsaber, like him destroying the entire room, just too close, just walking away.
Yes!
I will love that scene.
That was the best. That was the best scene in the fucking movie.
I love that scene.
But that's why Kylo being an angsty teenager worked, because it was played for laughs, but it made sense to the character.
And it's just like, man, so many things could have gone right with that.
And
Even if it was just mediocre, I'd take it at this point.
No, it's not. It's not mediocre. Have I said anything good about 9 at all?
No. No, you have no. You said the fight.
No.
You said the fight up until the end, with
No, sorry. I when I say fight, I just remember one scene specifically, and it's just, I'm being honest with you. So imagine like two, like, I don't know, like 20-foot by like 200-foot like sections of like metal. It's like very narrow metal, but like they're wide enough where someone could visibly fight on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's giant waves crashing around them. Someone jumps from one to the other, a giant wave crashes, the other one follows. That was the only thing I thought was cool. Just that one jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
That's it.
No, it's the equivalent of the Bat vs Superman fight.
Sorry.
There's only one thing I remember from that.
And the lightning. The lightning at the end with Palpatine.
That was just cool. A meme.
No. It wasn't cool, but it it was blue. It looked pretty. That was it.
It was just a meme.
Oh. And Rose. She wasn't in it. That was cool too.
That has to be an like, I've heard of creating characters and you don't know what to do with them after a certain point. But
Finn.
that we both know there was a separate story for Finn entirely.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot this one part. I forgot about this. They gave... Okay. This is what pisses me off about the Pinfo thing. Pinfo. Finn and Poe. Sorry.
It's a beautiful couple name, we know.
I was rooting for him. Like, I'd be totally cool if they
I
were
was
a couple.
down for it. Like, they already removed him from being a Jedi, so I gotta get something out of this. Yes. Right? My ruling is that a gay couple is just the up tier of a Jedi.
What if... Oh my god, Karan, I think you hit it. What if that's the reason that Jedi can't marry? It's because if they marry, they're all gay and they can't have kids and no one can procreate anymore.
So are the Sith against or for it?
No, they fuck pussy all day. That's actually what this entire squabble's about. One of them's gay, one of them's a gay hater.
It was just two bros that like...
Oh god, do you remember the episode of Avatar? It's like the divided canyon, it's those two two clans that fucking hate each other, and at the end of the day, Aang just makes up the story that they were kids.
Yes.
Alright, it's two dudes. One of them was gay, one of them was in the closet, and then they became Jedi, and the other one became a Sith, and that's the end.
See, Rebel was all for going gay, but Malik, he was in the closet.
Other way around.
That's why we had to wipe.
Gay,
no, that's why we had to wipe Revan's memory. He was too open.
You're right. He was too OP. His dick was too massive, and Jennifer Hall wanted that cock.
There was an explosion.
Wait. Oh god.
Okay.
It's Jennifer Hall. It's Bachelor.
Jennifer Hale.
I'm not mispronouncing her name. Hale. Fuck. Why do I keep mispronouncing that?
Because you keep thinking about her and it just messes you up, man.
But she's so good. God, that fucking movie. Sorry, that game.
That trilogy is just a magnum opus of failure.
Yeah.
Just,
also,
God.
Side note. Who's the... maybe you'll remember his name off the top of your head. The guy who voices Spider-Man, who voices Sasuke in English. Do you remember his name? Yuri. I know his last name is Yuri, but I can't remember his first name.
Lowenthal? Am I thinking of that right? Am I thinking of someone else? Yuri Lowenthal? Ugh.
I know his name is Yuri, but I don't remember if it's first name or last name. I'll look it up really quick.
I think it's Yuri Lowenthal.
He has been in a bunch of ads recently on my YouTube, and it's just been he's narrating the ads for games and anime, and I'm just like, oh look, it's Spider-Man.
There we go.
it had no relevance to the conversation, but he just keeps popping up in my head.
Oh, I hate this. Okay. No, it was. I know. You're a little. I think maybe you're a little. I know Drake Bell does a voiceover for Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah, he did it for I think 2 of the animated shows, or maybe he's still doing it right now. He does a solid Spider-Man voice.
Yeah, Yuri Lowenthal. You are correct.
Yeah, Yuri Lowenthal.
Is he on Critical Role?
Yuri Lowenthal. I know Drake Bell. I forget who the new actor is for the PS4 one, and man, that still looks off-putting. The new model.
Is the new model bad?
All right, you remember how the PS4 Peter Parker looks like?
Oh, sorry. I just want to mention.
Mm-hmm.
This is again. This is. It's not why I refuse to watch Critical Role, but Yuri's part of the cast.
That's great.
Yeah. No, Critical Role is fantastic, and so is everyone on that fucking show.
I really should continue.
You only watched. Did you ever watch Critical Role?
I did, but like it's one of the things where you gotta have one D&D campaign at a time.
Yeah,
so,
no.
And like they go on for a while, and there's multiple arcs, and like it's literally an anime that you just have to go like, am I gonna commit to this?
I still think whenever you have time within the next like couple of years, the Team 4-Star one's fantastic, and I think you'd fucking enjoy it.
Ah, that broke. Okay, yeah, I'll gotta watch it. One of these, sometime in the coming years, I'll watch it. It's just like you need time.
It's really cool because it started like 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago at this point. But everyone looks so much younger. Everyone.
Yeah, abridging does that to you.
It was when it was around the time that they first started their gaming channel, or they first started doing like camera work for their like they actually like became like YouTube personalities on camera. So Nick is just sweating like a motherfucker. Like he has so much armpit sweat. I feel so bad.
Don't feel bad for the sweat.
I thought you were gonna say Sith.
Why do you feel bad for the Sith?
Oh, I don't. I thought that's weird. Never mind. Oh. Did I just side rail just because I have it open? Did I tell you about my sword group? We're gonna start a new Blades in the Dark campaign.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Did I tell you the last name?
About your Mafia character?
Yeah, I did then. His name is Aiden Hutt.
Yeah, I gave you crap for that. I'm like, that's the best name you could have thought of?
I was high. God damn it.
I'm hearing excuses.
You're right.
But no, they changed the Spider-Man model to look more like the new actor, but it looked like just Tom Holland.
Oh,
and it's so off-putting.
I've seen this before.
It's so off-putting.
It's Miles Morales, isn't it?
Spider-Man PS4 new Peter. And like if they would have started with that model, it would have been fine.
New face.
Yeah, new face. If they would have started with that model, it would have been fine, but he looks too young and it's very off-putting because he's been Spider-Man for a while and his
hair
history
literally goes in the opposite direction.
It's so weird.
No. I'm gonna send you this picture. I don't know if you've seen this picture, but I'm just gonna send it to you. Just look at his hair.
It is so off-putting.
Just the hair. Just look at the hair.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It goes from grizzled Spider-Man to new voice Spider-Man.
I'm sorry. Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his neck.
Yeah. You notice how it's a lot wider and broader? Almost like they had to fit it on the body. But you can
tell...
talking
about like his neck muscles. His neck muscles are less defined.
But you can tell the difference right off the bat.
I don't like this.
You can automatically tell.
So I guess I'm a little confused. Is this new model for the Miles Morales Spider-Man game only, or is it
No,
for
no, no,
both?
no. This is for the
They
new.
retroactively changed it?
They retroactively changed the PS5 Spider-Man game to have this model. I don't know if they changed the
And
PS4 one yet.
they will when they do the new generation.
More than likely they will. But they changed the model because I believe they were going for a new. They wanted to make it look more like the new actor they have, or guess whatever for it. Which
No, it's that's just Tom Holland.
exactly.
Wait. Does Yuri not voice Spider-Man anymore?
I don't know who the new voice actor is.
I'm looking this up. I thought because Yuri was perfect.
That's what I'm like. There had to be a contracting issue or something.
And yeah,
That or
like,
Disney said we need we need a Tom Holland
like,
lookalike.
just from knowing, not I don't personally obviously know Yuri, but like he sticks with his fucking shit.
That's why I'm not too sure what happened here. Like I can't vouch for much. So like, what the heck? Hold on. There it is. Why? The yeah. Let me let me look this up.
Um,
Spider-Man
let's see.
PS5.
I'm going on screen rant. Face model for Peter. I'm gonna read the screen rants.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man's Peter Parker remastered. Who plays Peter Parker and who is he replaced? The face model for Peter Parker has been replaced in the remastered edition to better take advantage of the PS5 technology. That's bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's bullshit.
Fans
when you're
of
done, I'll tell you
Insomniac Spider-Man
exactly
give a
who
bit
did it
of a
right.
shock. Okay. Fans got a bit of a shock when details were announced about how the new game was going to be upgraded for the PS5. Graphical enhancements like ray tracing were to be expected, but Insomniac also revealed they have completely changed the face model for their lead character Peter Parker, who is the main man behind the face, and who did he replace? Continue. I'll read this in silence.
Mm-hmm. But no, the only most recent one I can think of where they changed models completely was Resident Evil 7. And for one, they're going for a new story, but two, they're working with entirely new hardware compared to what they did previously. So they wanted to.
That was a remaster, correct?
No, this was the new game entirely for Resident Evil 7.
Gotcha.
It's one of the reasons why, like, if you were to look at Chris Redfield Resident Evil 7 versus Chris Redfield from any other game, it looks completely different. And they were working on a new engine, and they decided let's make it look more like the voice actors a bit. And once again, entirely new engine, new Resident Evil game. It makes sense. You start your game from scratch with these new models. You don't release the game with models and then completely change the way they look in the next generation and then justify it by saying, yeah, we want to take advantage of the new system. And it's like, no. 9 times out of 10, Disney was like, this is very popular, but it doesn't look like our stuff. And since Avengers game is complete trash, we kind of need something, more tangible.
Okay, I'm gonna read this section really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Parker's Spider-Man was originally modeled after the face of actor John Burbank. Burbank.
Mm-hmm.
In Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, and presumably enter future games in the franchise, Peter will be modeled after the face of fashion model Ben Jordan. So it looks like Yuri's still voicing him? Let me double check.
Okay.
Insomniac's creative director Brian Irethel stated on Twitter for the reason for the change was because in order to make even more believable looking characters for the PS5, the team needed an actor that was a better facial match for Yuri Lowenthal. Yuri Lowenthal has hundreds of credits in the game and television, including Mass Effect Andromeda, blah 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 blah, don't fucking care. And is a voice and performance for the actor for Peter and will continue his role going forward. So Yuri will still continue to voice him. They just wanted to change it so it better matched Yuri's face. I'm looking at Yuri right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna screenshot this real quick. I'll send this to you so we have them both back to back.
I'm really curious about this now. So does it look like Yuri?
No, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna let you decide.
Because it looked kind of like Disney said, we need some Tom Holland in this.
They both don't look like Yuri. I guess, okay, the only thing that actually looks like Yuri is if Yuri was Tom Holland. I'm joking. The only thing that really resembles Yuri is the jawline. That is it. Everything else looks like Tom Holland. Like, I understand, I get where they're coming from. It does resemble Yuri more. Exactly.
Like, here's the thing. There is no active reason for them to want to update the model to make it look more like the actor just for an excuse to try to say that, yeah, it's better graphics so we can do this. Like, no.
Also, can we just go back to the original picture real quick? Spider-Man looks really tired. Like the original.
Yes, because he's been Spider-Man for a while. He's been doing this for a while. He has history doing this, so it kind of like...
Look at Yuri's jawline, and then look at the new jawline. That is the only thing that looks exact. Like that's the only one that looks similar.
But like, you see what I mean? Of like, he looks like he just like got started on this year one. He looks like year one.
Yeah, and that's not the case.
And remember, this is the face that's teaching Miles how to be Spider-Man.
No, this is the face that Miles teaches to be Spider-Man.
That's like, it's just like, it's still problematic that you changed the model for obviously corporate reasons. But the fact that you went like, we need to make it younger and Tom Holland. That's what we need. Why?
No. They just need to make it Tom Holland.
Because no one knows who Spider-Man is.
Check group chat. I'm trying to just...
Alright, where do I start?
What did Jordan say? Just after the V for Vendetta, also not me totally forgetting I was playing the Outer Worlds.
That's a worse typo than me. I thought you were talking about me. I was like, what the TF? Yep. Wait, what? How? Oh, he's talking to... Wait.
What happened here, guys? Does this make sense?
No, it doesn't. I don't know what he's talking about. Usually I can tell typos from a distance.
How did Brady take a conversation that kind of made sense, but then make it make less sense by trying to say it didn't make sense? How does that fucking work?
You ever watched the new Star Wars trilogy?
I have. You fucking haven't.
And guess what? Why is that more of an achievement on my part than yours?
I still haven't seen Frozen. Fuck off.
Oh, I've had to endure it. I've endured it. Kingdom Hearts with me. Rewatched that entire song again, which still so annoyed at that.
I was dating Stephanie, who had a little cousin.
Question: do we call her Stephanie A or Stephanie B now?
They both have fat asses. So B. We'll call her B. So I was still dating Stephanie at the time, who had like a 3-year-old cousin.
Question.
And I still didn't watch it.
Question, do you want me to stop the recording after a certain point, by the way?
I don't fucking care.
Great. So, that being said, I did also, like, one, I don't know where that conversation was going. Two, but, like, I don't see the point unless there's a corporate decision to do so. Like, the model's not bad. That's the thing.
No.
And that's the only model they decided to update. That's the thing.
Are you serious?
Yes. It's not like they said, oh, we're going to update the entire cast to look different. Nope.
Just Tom
Peter.
Holland.
Which is, like, so weird.
Well, it probably was just a corporate move on Disney, so they can get more, like, more marketing. Because with
like
the COVID thing, Marvel movies aren't getting made right now. No movies are.
Nope.
So
literally next year's gonna be packed full of stuff.
Which, just saying.
I thought I had Royal Guard.
I'm okay with the fact that nothing's coming out right now.
It's almost like stuff needs time to simmer and kind of, you know.
chill.
Let me get this timing down. Yeah, it's almost like
But-
they need to take time to, relax. And because guess what? Assassin's Creed kind of crap right now. Call of Duty, it's the same. Watch Dogs, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's almost like these things
Actually-
need time to simmer and create new ideas.
I'm looking at my games right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've only... Okay, so Borderlands 3 came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only new game I have from this year.
I think I've gotten a lot of
okay,
different news.
That's
Pathfinder.
not true, because I have the Long Dark.
Pathfinder. You
that
technically
this year?
bought that one. Yep.
What did it come out this year?
Yes. It was
Okay,
redone port for
Pathfinder.
Xbox, originally on PC.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
No,
and Code Vein.
Oh god.
But
I gotta go back
I
to
know,
that.
I don't. I know. I still have to fucking
Every
finish it,
time,
too.
like, if it wasn't for the fact I was recording it, I would have stopped playing that a while ago just out of pure annoyance sometimes. Like,
Oh, sorry, 4 games. My
Mhm.
apologies. And Shakiro, but that's it. Those are the only games that I've bought this year.
mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Well, the thing is,
Like-
Game Pass is really nice.
No if I didn't have Game Pass, I would not have 3 of these games.
It saves,
I have
like,
2 of these games.
in all honesty, Game Pass is a really nice thing for, even if I just, like, don't feel like playing the game like that, just trying it out feels nice. Like,
No, it
works.
honestly, Brady said it the best. It is a good fucking service, and honestly, it just works.
Up until the point where it goes like, well, now that you have the regular package, how would you like to get the premium package of Game Pass? It's like, crap, it's just a cable service all over again. That's all it is going to be by the end of it. And then
No, that's
Mhm.
all it is. Because you have. Did you ever get the Xbox Live plus Game Pass thing?
Yeah, no, I got that when I transferred over my year of
Okay.
blank to blank. And
So-
I just got that for free.
Did I ever tell you what happened with mine?
What?
Let me go to my subscriptions really quick, but it's actually really funny. So my Game Pass, no, my Xbox Live renewed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find my really quick. Where is it under? Is it under account? Yeah, it is. Okay, so my Xbox Live renewed in October.
Mm-hmm.
If you get Game Pass Ultimate, you don't have to pay for Xbox Live until it runs out, right?
Right.
Are you,
Oh.
are you catching on?
That's amazing.
So I don't. So this is what I have on my subscriptions. I have Xbox Game Pass for console expires on November 12th of 2020. Last charge on October of 2020. That's
Mhm.
canceled. Xbox Live Gold expires on November 12th, which is when I got it. That when it expires that's when I got the Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And then Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, reoccurring billing on October 5th, 2021. Next charge, $14.
Yeah, no, that's the best thing about it was when the moment it converted my gold into just regular, I'm like, I have a full year of this for free, basically.
Yeah, and that's fucking awesome.
And Game Pass is great when it comes to playing certain games and just indie games in general.
No, it works. It is the best equivalent. This is the Xbox versions of Steam.
That being said, 2021 is gonna suck. There's gonna be so much
everything
stuff.
that was on delay is just gonna flood.
You mean because of everything that was on delay because of Cyberpunk? It wasn't it was the coronavirus. No.
No, it was just Cyberpunk.
It was just Cyberpunk.
No. What if Cyberpunk? Okay, hear me out. What
Mhm.
if Cyberpunk is actually a time traveling coronavirus?
Not where I thought you were going with that. I'm gonna be honest. That actually got me. I thought you were gonna say, what if Cyberpunk was purposely delaying their game so no other games would come out by the end of the year? It's the ultimate con. Oh, I guess we win Game of the Year.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking. Actually, that'd be brilliant.
History books will remember Cyberpunk 2099 as being the game that saved us.
2099, huh?
I got Spider-Man stuck in my head still.
No. What if it just doesn't, like, okay, they just keep delaying it for an entire century.
It'll become a myth at a certain point of, like, in the before
Will it
time.
be worse than Half? I have random conspiracy theory.
You see what this game does to us?
Okay. What if, hear me out, Rockstar isn't actually Rockstar? Hear me out.
What?
Hear me out. It's actually Valve.
That's like saying...
And they've been trying... No, here, let me finish. And they've been trying to release Half-Life 3, but the current consoles can't run it, so they have to wait for the new ones, but then the current consoles kept fucking up, so they kept having to delay it. But Cyberpunk isn't actually Cyberpunk, it's just Half-Life 3.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
I believe it.
What does that even entail at that point?
No. You know how Bill and Ted, like, they release that song and then world peace happens?
Yes.
Yeah.
That just happens.
Yeah. When Half-Life 3 finally releases world peace.
That would be I'm
just saying. We live in a world where Half-Life 3 doesn't exist, but world peace also doesn't exist. So
I thought you were gonna say, like, what if Apple is actually Epic Games the entire time and that's their excuse to get into the gaming market? They've been failing on purpose just to improve their sales in other places. Google Stadia.
That's my only response.
Google Stadia was just the return of Blockbuster, but they couldn't use the word Blockbuster.
Hey, I'm... Can you do me a favor?
Go ahead.
Can you not say Stadia, because it just reminds me of that shit fucking song?
You mean that crappy song that you guys made me listen to?
Yeah.
Guys, we need to vibe with the youth. What the hell does that even mean?
I can legitimately hear that song, and I actually want to go to sleep.
I forgot it, and that's
because of it.
And that's all that matters.
You didn't know about it. We had to show you.
No, I forgot about it afterwards. I erased that song from my memory because the one thing that's great about Stadia is that it's so broken that they don't have ads for it anymore.
Hey, I asked you. Can you please stop calling it that?
Oh, sorry. What was it? The Google Scarlet.
Google Scarlet.
That better?
No, see, that just reminds me of a better character called Captain Scarlet.
Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. The Google Ava.
There we go. That's much better and less displeasing.
Oh, me and you're gonna have some fun going through that game soon. By soon, I mean 3 years when it's finished. And by finished, I mean in patch number 368. Yeah, we're going through that, Connor.
I gotta finish. Oh no! Borderlands Game of the Year edition doesn't work. Oh well.
I'm about to say, I thought you were about to use Borderlands 2, and I'm like, we both know you can speed through that in 5 seconds. Don't even try it. Is it gonna be the one time you take your time with Borderlands 2 and the free sequel just to avoid 3?
Hey, I won't sprint a single time.
Watch you still beat the game in record time.
Actually, let me see. I'm just curious. How many hours do I have in that fucking game?
Oh god, let's find
Too much.
How many hours do we have in Borderlands 3?
we'll do it in order. Do you want to do one? Well, we can't check one. Let's
Well,
check three, then we'll check two.
you could, yeah, you can check one technically, but by game of the year for me, but you have to check classic for you. Maybe. Wait, no, you can't check.
No, I can't check at all because I have the game, but I've only played to like level 10.
Gotcha.
Oh, I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
63.
Yeah, let me compare with friends.
None of your friends have played Borderlands 2.
No, says none of my friends have played Borderlands 3.
I mean, you're right.
We
never played that.
We haven't.
No, we never played that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're right.
That game's not finished yet. It hasn't come out.
You're right. How could I forget?
They said they're working on the character development patch. So I don't know what that means, but you know. God.
I had to scroll down.
Did you see Maya's redesign? Looks amazing. Can't wait to see what they do with that.
Oh, I love that. She's a much better Jedi than anyone else we just talked about for the last 3 hours.
Is so good. I hate that.
All right, how many? Yo. Oh, okay. How many hours have you played for 3?
I can't check right now. If that makes sense.
Oh, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
It literally can't. It won't tell me.
After this, I will gladly check.
Okay, I'm at 7 days and 17 hours and 46 minutes.
Man, that game was such a disappointment.
All right, 7 days, and then let's check 2. I'm kind of scared.
63.
I think 63. You say nah, you're highballing it. You're highballing it way too much.
Am I?
Yeah, you are. I appreciate
36?
it, but you're highballing it. A little bit lower.
28.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
28 days, 14 hours, and 23 minutes. And this one I actually can compare.
I know I'm low on that one. I have not played as much as I played on Xbox 360.
So, Hunter actually doesn't...
Is Levi still on there?
Yeah, Levi's still on there. I played more than Levi. This is 2, right? Yeah, this is 2. Hunter is not accurate because Hunter played a shit ton more on the 360. He has so many. He has months in this game. He is number 1. But on my friends list, technically I'm number 1. But he's above me. He's played more than this than I have. I'm at 28. Levi's at 18. Brady's at 11. Joel is at 10. Cameron is at 4, and you were at 4. Well, Cameron's basically at 5. Cameron's at 4 days, 20 hours. You're at 4 days.
More. I remember that.
Yeah, I never played 360. Jordan's only played about a day and a half.
Yeah, no, I played 360 a lot more than that. Because then again, like, going through Borderlands 2 story multiple times, like, you know the thing. It's like, after a certain point, you either turn your brain off,
kind of roll with,
or you just kind of get tired.
All right, I'm going to check, just because I'm curious, I'm going to check the pre-sequel.
Now, is this regular person time or claptrap time?
I have to download the game to tell you. Don't remember.
It should download instantly. It should have all of your save data and data on there in 5 seconds.
No, it doesn't download instantly.
For you, it should. It should have a special privilege.
Okay, do you want to guess for the pre-sequel? I'm in 2nd. Hunter has 21.
Okay.
Okay, actually... Okay, this is actually quite hilarious. I'm just going to tell you because this is fucking great. Hunter is at 21 days, 13 hours. I'm at half of that at 14 days and 11 hours. Joseph is at half of mine at 7 days and 0 hours. And then you are at less than half of that at 2 days.
That is amazing. And yet, I beat that game like 3 times.
Actually, I'm going to just do quick math.
2?
How much have I put into the game in total?
No, I beat that game, it had to be twice at least.
2?
At least 2 times with 2 separate characters.
Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate because you already know.
Because, yeah, no, the pre-sequel is kind of, the story is, it drops off. Like, in all honesty, that story drops off.
No, the story drops off. around the R&D section.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Alright, so I have 14 hours in pre-sequel. Oh, sorry, 14 days. Let me look at 3. 3, what was 3 at? Was that at?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta check it again because I don't remember the date. 7 days. Wow, I've played that the least. I wonder why. Plus 28. Wow. I'm kind of disappointed in my life.
Are you?
I kind of am. I have 49 hours on just the Xbox between those 3 games. And I just want to preface this by saying I've put about 250 hours on Borderlands 2 on my PC. Which 250 divided by 24 is, let's see real quick. So remember 49. 250 divided by 24 is 10 days. So I put 69.
Yeah.
No, sorry. 59 days.
Claptrap has really fueled your lust for
Oh, ironically, let me actually see if I can actually look at the characters for the pre-sequel, because Claptrap was the only character I played. Legitimately.
like one of these days you're gonna have to you're gonna be playing through with either Athena or who haven't you played as at this point?
Oh, okay. Well, I've played as everyone. Like I've beaten the game with everyone, or at least most of the game with everyone. But Claptrap was the only one I ever did True Vol Hunter mode with.
Okay.
For the pre-sequel, I'm gonna just cause like, I did the EOS farm. You know what that is?
Yeah, you told me
The one
about
of
that.
like the final DLC. He drops at least 2 legendaries like per run, maybe like a legendary. Oh, oh God, I feel fucking disgusting.
Do you?
I do. Okay, so you can. It gives you a stat of how many legendaries you found. I'm just gonna start at the bottom.
How bad is it?
It's pretty bad. Brady's found 11. Levi's found 14. You found 21. Cameron found 78. Joe found 439. Hunter found 3,000. Hunter found 3,049 or 3,094, and I'm at 3,896.
And are you
There's a
satisfied?
significant gap between me and Hunter and everyone else.
But did you notice that one's more satisfying than the other?
Let me compare that to 2.
Meanwhile, Borderlands 3, yeah, legendary, great.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't fucking. Actually, let me see how much there is. Is there a stat for that in 3? There better be.
What do you mean? We never played that game. Once again, you got to remember that.
You're right. Sorry. Let me just see if hypothetically there is one. No, there isn't. The only stat you can. Oh wow, that's stupid. The only stat you can actually see
Time's
is
disappointed?
time played.
Oh.
No. God damn it! You got me. Oh yes, time's disappointed. Let me look at 2. 1 sec. Progress. Oh, oops. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing with 2. This is legendaries found. I'll start at the bottom.
All right, let me check my list.
For just people that for just people that we know. Jordan's at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Higgins. Do you remember Nathan?
Partially.
Ah, fuck him then. You're at 49.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph is at 685. Brady's higher actually. Brady's higher than Joe. Interesting. Brady's at 11. Sorry, 1,172. So like about double, basically about double Joe. A little less than that. Hunter is at 1,855 legendaries.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the jump. This is where the jump comes in, and I'm at number 2 with 5,683,
Mm-hmm.
and then Levi is ahead of me with 7,528.
Okay, so by the way, by Borderlands 2, I have played for 6 days, 7 hours. So congratulations.
Rookie numbers.
You beat me there.
I know.
Then again, you did beat the game with
Wait,
2 characters.
Borderlands 2? You've played 6 days?
Oh, sorry, Borderlands 3, 6 days.
Oh.
So congratulations.
No, not exactly.
You beat me
I don't know
there.
if I'm happy about that.
I mean, congrats. I hope you
I
feel
guess.
achieved. It was Borderlands 2.
I don't.
Let's see.
Your max level is only like 55, isn't it?
Nope, 56, and I played for 4 days.
Fair enough. I want to go to bed now.
Yeah, no. Well, time to end this. We've done for a while, though, to be honest. We are at 3 hours, 33 minutes.
That's a lot. You might want to segment that just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm probably going to put it into 2 parts. I'll figure out where to cut it from there.
But
no.
probably just cut it when we stop playing games, to be honest.
Yeah, probably best point. That being said, though, no, we got a lot in there, but man, Star Wars is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I could talk about it forever, but like, fuck, I hate this.
I hate that it's the TV shows that are the good parts right now.
Yeah. No, sorry. I hate. Oh wait, did you see the Lego special?
Which one? There's multiple.
They introduced. I have to let me look this up before we go. There's a Lego holiday Star Wars special.
I'm pretty sure there's more than one. I'm not even joking.
Lego.
Because Lego
holiday.
makes a lot of movies. Like just regular ones, not like Lego movie standards. Which even then, that's still over the top beautiful. But like, I don't expect much.
Yeah, no. This just released like 3 days ago.
You know what?
Let me double check. I want to make sure I'm not fucking stupid here.
I'm glad you finished that.
Yeah, no, it released on November 17th, like 4 days ago.
Look, I can only watch one train wreck at a time, and Lego will be probably more entertaining than episode 9, let's be honest.
I mean, I'd watch it. I can at least laugh at it. But no, my dad's already watched like 4.
Okay, that's amazing. Alright, man. I'm gonna head to bed. Oh, wait. Did the controller... Alright. Yep.
It did disconnect, but my dad's already watched it like 4 times.
That's Disney done it again.
Yeah, alright.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think we okay.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely once I get like under control, like what happened with the first like the Borderlands remaster, we should definitely go through that because I think we could pace ourselves through the games and we just don't worry about 3.
It's the campaign's easy. It goes by real fast. It's just the DLC that gets lengthy, but it's like the DLC's new and some just a little bit of fun on the side. And I know you haven't gone through it,
so that's perfect.
Yeah. And then just 2's going to be us just enjoying ourselves. Pre-sequel
2's going to be me just enjoying myself for the last ride.
Pre-sequel's going to be fun, and then the slog will hit us. And then I'm hoping that stupid vertibird whatever flying boss fight at the end with Zarpedon or whatever the heck it was.
No, it's I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name, but it's
I hate it. I hate it.
Listen, buddy, I will specifically set aside weapons to deal with it. We'll be okay.
Yeah, no. I still think that's like one of the worst ones in terms of like main story bosses.
Yeah, it's not good.
And then we'll hit the unfortunate.
No, we still. You have not played the pre-sequel DLC, have you?
Yeah, no, I beat it twice.
You have? Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I went through that multiple times.
Who hasn't played it?
Brady.
Someone I know hasn't played it. Was it Brady?
Probably
No,
Brady.
I feel like he has.
Yeah, no. I went through that
Oh,
multiple
yeah.
times. No, I did that. That was
Good.
fun.
I
Like,
love. So good. The ending to that's great. I still love
oh
the
yeah, no, it was
sequel.
icing on the cake, that ending. It was beautiful. Like, you love to see something so beautiful happen to many different Claptrap units at once.
Oh no, Zemo.
All right, man. That being said, talk to you later.
My friend, I'll see you tomorrow.